Good afternoon everyone and welcome na naman po sa isa na namang edisyon ng ating HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay at iba pa. And with me right now is of course our mentor Tina. Naku, isa na naman pong action-packed Sunday tayo ngayon dahil napakaganda na magiging discussion natin for today. So kung kayo po, if you're watching us from our various HR groups at sa ating pong HR Cafe Facebook page, pati na rin po sa Philippines HR Group YouTube channel, please comment below kung saan po kayo nanonood right now. Tag your friends, tag your colleagues para sila din po ay makasama sa atin para sa atin na naman pong Sunday coffee na adventure. Ayan po. So ayan, comment lang po sa ating comment section para magbabati rin naman po namin kayo for today. Ayan, napaka-exciting po ng ating talakayan, pero bago po tayo pumunta sa ating topic for today, para sa mga baguhan po na tambay dito sa ating HR Cafe. HR Cafe is currently being run by our program host, Coach Darwin Rivers, a multi-awarded HR executive with more than 20 years of progressive leadership and management experience working with top Fortune 500 multinational companies. He's also the president and founder of Facebook's largest Philippines HR group, of course, Philippines HR Group. He is a certified life coach, public speaker, and motivational speaker and HR consultant. Unfortunately, Coach Darwin cannot be with us today dahil naku po, medyo hindi kinaya ng kanyang boses. Ayan po. So hopefully, Coach Darwin will get well soon para next Sunday ay kasama po natin siya. And of course, we have Mentor John Bernard Kaasi. Mentor Burns is an HR L&D practitioner and educator. He is also an online content creator and social media influencer. He is best known for being a radio broadcaster and creator of Unboxing Catholicism, podcast, and FB Live. He is a motivational speaker and financial wellness consultant. And of course po, hindi mawawala ang inyong lingkod. I am Mentor Rona Florentino. I've been an HR professional for more than 20 years now, and I've worked with different local and international companies. I'm currently the president and CEO of Uprush Social Geekers, an HR solutions and services provider. And I am also a public speaker and an HR consultant. And of course, ang akin pong kapartner, Mentor Tina Coang, an operations and HR leader with broad local and overseas experiences. She's the general manager for a retail company and an online content creator and blogger of the well-known and talaga naman pong sinusubaybayan ng ating mga members na tinainmanila.com. Ayan po. Good afternoon, Mentor Tina. Kumusta ka naman po today?
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Thank you so much, Rona, for that very generous greet out. I'd like to welcome everyone to the HR Cafe. Today, it's all about girl power, social media, and how it will impact your career. So dito tayo, we always talk about HR, but we also talk about self-improvement. So I'm very excited about this show.
Ayan naman po. Siyempre, nakaka-excite talaga. Naku, dahil nabanggit na rin naman po natin ang tungkol sa HR Cafe. If it's your first time na tumambay po dito at hindi nyo alam ano ba ang meron sa HR Cafe, HR Cafe is here to provide you with timely news and updates, impart knowledge and experience that are value-adding and beneficial, discuss any problems, issues, and challenges, and provide answers and resolutions with the help of our guest resource, especially for our HR practitioners, professionals, and those who would want to become HR people someday. In here, we discuss new technology, tools, and processes, as well as industry best practices. If ever you do have any job openings, let us know, and we will have it posted. We'll announce it during our succeeding HR Cafe sessions. So we are also a virtual job board. We'll make any job-related announcements na you would like us to make. Reach out to us with our Facebook page para naman po maipost po natin yan. We are also here to bridge understanding between employers and employees, and of course, provide inspiration and motivation dahil Monday na naman bukas at kailangan natin talaga ng inspiration and motivation for another work week. Ayan. At dahil po social media ang usapan, syempre kailangan ng ating wow quote for the week ay tungkol din naman po sa social media. Ang sabi ni Amy Jo Martin, social media is the ultimate equalizer. It gives a voice and a platform to anyone willing to engage. Sa inyo po, ano pong pagkakaintindi nyo dito at ano po ang impact sa inyo ng ating wow quote for the week? Mentor Tina, gaano ka-wow ang ating wow quote for the week? How does this resonate with you?
Alam mo, nung bata ako, wala tayong internet. There's no such thing as the internet, computers, or social media. I remember that we always get our media from the newspaper, radio, and the TV lang talaga. Pinagsusubaybayan talaga nating mga kabataan yung Saturday cartoons, right? But with the advent of the internet and social media, the power of disseminating information is already democratized. It lies, kahit yung anak ko, 5 years old pa lang, pwede na po siyang mag-Facebook, mag-like, and mag-share, and mag-subscribe. And with that as well, everybody is now, what do you call it? An influencer. Okay, minor influencer, big influencer, everybody now has a voice on the internet. Now, the great thing about social media is, kung may opinion ka, dati kasi ang mga opinion, ang pinakikinggan lang yung mga experts. Yung mga, what do you call it, the ones, the academe, the experts, those who are parang thought leaders. But now, even students, okay, even the person on the street can already give an opinion. So that's one of the best things about social media. But at the same time, we mustn't forget, okay? Whatever you post on the internet is forever on the internet. That is why so many people across the ocean is having problems. Sila James Gunn. There's a lot of people being canceled right now in the Western world because of something that they've mentioned on Twitter or on Facebook years ago. Okay? Sa atin, mga mamamayan, hindi pa kasi tayo sikat. Okay? So, okay lang kahit anong sabihin mo. Magpatawa ka, mag-bad joke ka, okay lang. But the problem is, one day, dapat, who knows, baka sumikat tayo, right? And anything you put out there on social media will come and bite you in the butt later on. Lalo na if you are running for political office, if you become a celebrity, if you become a popular influencer, if you work in a company and then you did a rape joke, for example, tapos nakita yan ng HR ninyo, this might have a problem for you. So sa akin, while social media is a good equalizer and gives us a voice, we should still be very careful, especially when you are using your own name. Mas maganda kasi gumamit ng sariling pangalan for your own personal branding because this is one way for people to get to know you. Your thoughts, your feelings, your values, but at the same time, exercise caution. Because once you put it out there, that's already who you are. You cannot say, hindi ka pwede mambabastos sa social media and then say, alam mo, hindi ako bastos na tao. Eh kung ganun, ba't mo sinabi? Right? You can't be, kung matapang, kung kunyari, opinionated ka, yun yung ilabas mo. Maging totoo tayo sa social media presence natin kasi one day, pag hindi tayo authentic, mahuhuli din tayo. And even though there is social media, there is still that human element. You still have to build trust. You have to build your reputation. It and that type of reputation takes years. So, dapat maging responsible tayo kasi later on, nakakatakot talaga eh. Kung tira ka lang ng tira ng kabastusan, ng mga masasamang masasabi, yung parang, I don't like, a certain group of people, one day, the very things that you say might hurt you and your career or your reputation or even hurt the ones you love. Okay? Lalo na pag popular ka, kahit yung anak mo, kapatid mo, talaga mapapahamak sila dahil sa sinabi mo. So you really are a great equalizer. There are still consequences to our actions. Okay? So mga kababayan, kung may opinions po kayo, please share it in our comment box. Over to you, Rona. What do you think of the wow quote of the week?
Ayan. So bago po ako mag-proceed sa ating interpretation ng ating wow quote for the week, gusto ko po munang batiin ang ating mga taga-subaybay. Ayan, si Miss Lovelyn Bautista. She's watching all the way from Naga City, Bicol. Fiesta po ngayon ng mga Nagenyo. So happy fiesta po sa mga nasa Naga po. Chris Igual also says good day to everyone. And then of course, we also have somebody else watching from Bicol, kaya lang po hindi ko po alam kung paano to basahin. So ayan, ipa-flash ko na lang para naman po mapakita natin ang inyo pong pagbate. So hello everyone. He or she is also watching from Bicol. Ayan po, sa mga taga-Naga po. Happy fiesta po sa inyong lahat. Para naman po sa ating wow quote for the week. Ako, we usually hear a lot of people say that social media is bad,
Mm.
being at yung mga kabataan ngayon ay napapahamak dahil sa social media, exposure to social media is not good, ganyan ganyan.
Mm.
Social media is not bad. It's not good, it's
Mm.
not bad. It's neither. How we use it, that's where the good and the bad comes in. Now, tulad ng sabi ni Mentor Tina, we have to be responsible when we make use of social media. Kasi whatever we put out there, at some point it will bite us in the butt. Okay? Um, Ngayon pa lang may mga ibang tao na few years ago they would mention something very very
Mm.
casually as a comment, and then you
Mm.
would see a lot of people binabalikan talaga yon, o kumusta ka na ngayon, may character development ka na ba, ganyan ka pa rin. The cancel culture is very very prevalent right now, especially among yung mga talagang heavy on social media. Why? Because social media and the internet allows us to be more upfront because you are behind the keyboard. Kaya nga daming keyboard warriors eh. Kasi hindi
Mm.
naman nakikita, hindi mo nakakausap, hindi mo alam kung ano yung nagiging impact ng sinasabi mo. It's an ultimate equalizer because anyone and everyone can have an opinion on almost anything. Whether the opinion is correct or not, it doesn't matter. It's a platform that would allow you to say what you think, say what you feel, with immediate repercussions. But lagi nga natin sinasabi, yung mga yan, it might not have a repercussion right now, it might not have consequences right now, but at some point, you will feel the impact of that. So just like your words, be very, very careful with what you put out there. Okay? So it's all about being responsible and knowing how to make use of social media, because it's not good, it's not bad. It's actually a tool that you can make use in order to, let's say, promote yourself or further your network, diba? Widen your reach. It's a good tool to have. But if you're not using it properly, it's also a tool that will bite you in the butt someday. So be very careful with how you use that. Ayan po. What about you? Amin po mga ka-HR Cafe, ano po ang dating sa inyo ng ating wow quote for the week? Please make use of our group chat ng ating comment section para po mailagay niyo po ang inyong comment para po sa ating wow quote for the week. At syempre pa, kung meron po tayong wow quote for the week, hindi rin po mawawala ang ating HR question for the week. Ang ating pong question for the week, and anyone can share your opinion about this. Let us know what you think about our HR question for the week. Do employers have the right to review and sanction employees based on what they post in social media? Ano po sa tingin nyo, ating mga ka-HR Cafe? May karapatan po ba ang mga employers na i-review at i-sanction ng inyo pong mga posts sa social media? Ano po ang masasabi nyo tungkol dito? So sana po yung ating, lalo na yung ating mga legal members po dyan, mga lawyers po natin, ano po ba sa tingin nyo, paano po ba i-handle ito? Mentor Tina, ano po sa tingin mo ang tamang paraan ng pag-handle nito?
When it comes to HR questions, we always have to ask ourselves, number one, does the company have a policy regarding that offense? Ulitin po natin ha. We always have to ask ourselves if the company has an existing policy regarding that offense. Okay? Kasi ang nangyayari, when an HR or the company owner sees that an employee is lambasting the company through social media, biglang umaapoy yung puso. Nagagalit. Tapos gusto agad suspension and termination. Pero ang tanong, meron ba kayong social media policy? If you do, follow the social media policy. If you do not have one, please construct a social media policy first and put in there, enumerate the type of penalties you will have on the offense. Okay? And disseminate that to the people before you go around punishing people for the offense. Kasi if you keep on tira ka ng tira pero wala ka namang policy, baka talaga mata-technical kayo because you really cannot suspend unless there is actual offense. And the offense is only stated in the company policy. Alright? So, for protection right now, mga HR, kung wala pa po kayong social media policy, please draft one now. And if anyone wants to ask, ma'am, paano po mag-draft? Okay, there are so many samples out there on Google and everywhere else. Huwag na kayong magtanong, how to draft a social media policy. Kayo naman, no? Marunong naman tayo mag-research, right? And the information is freely available out there. Once you have it, you might want to translate it and then disseminate it. And then anybody says anything bad about the company on social media, feel free to discipline and punish as at will. Okay, Rona?
Ayan, ako tamang-tama po ang nabanggit ni Mentor Tina. Napaka-importante po na meron tayong social media policy bago po tayo magalit sa ating mga empleyado. Kasi if we don't have that, ano po ang basis natin para sila i-penalize? Pero ito rin po ang ating iisipin. With the prevalence of internet, everyone has access to it. Everyone has access to social media. Bakit masyado kayong mahigpit? Okay, also have to think about it. It's okay to have a policy in place. It's okay to control what your people put out there, especially if you're really trying to take care of the brand. But be careful as well on why you want to control what your people are putting out there. It's different if you're controlling because you're trying to make sure that everyone's on the same page on how they present the company. It's a different thing if you want to control their ability to speak up, to tell people what's happening. Okay? Bago pa kayo pumunta doon sa policy, bago pa kayo pumunta sa disciplinary action, isipin nyo muna, why is it that my employees feel that it's easier to put it on social media rather than to talk to me, to talk to HR, to talk to their immediate superior, or to talk to whoever is the concerned party? Isipin nyo muna yon before you go ahead with the policy. It's very easy to come up with policy. There are a lot of templates available online at napakadaling mag-disciplinary action when you have the policy. But at the end of the day, the question is, why is this happening? Why is it that my employees don't understand the value of our brand? What happens when they put out things in the internet or in social media that might tarnish our brand? Why is it that they don't understand the impact of that? Look into that, analyze that, and then try to solve that, address that, instead of memo kagad, trigger happy sa mga memo. Huwag tayo masyadong trigger happy sa mga memo. Meron yang root cause. Madaling maging trigger happy, you can do disciplinary action, but it doesn't take away the root cause of the problem. If you don't address the root cause of the problem, pwede may ma-terminate ka na empleyado, but again, it will happen in the future. You'll have somebody else post anything na lang sa social media because they don't like you, they don't like the company. And you can easily say na, if you don't like the company, leave the company. But at some point, sino ba yung talo doon? Sino yung magagastosan dahil you need to hire and hire and hire and hire. So, think carefully, okay? Good that it's a good thing to have a social media policy in place that would make sure that you have covered all your bases. But it's also good to understand why it's happening. Why do people feel the need? Why do your employees feel the need to post it in social media kaysa kausapin kayo? Baka natatakot sila to approach you. Baka hindi kayo nakikinig. So, look into that as well. Wag lang tayo basta, memohan yan, tanggalin yan. Wag tayo masyadong trigger happy pagdating doon. Okay po? Ayan. So kung kayo po ay meron po kayong opinion, wag po mahihiya na maglagay po sa ating comment section. What do you think about our wow quote for the week as well as our HR question for the week? Share your ideas, share your thoughts, lalong-lalo na sa paggamit po ng social media kasi baka po meron po kayong ma-share na talaga naman po kapupulutan ng aral ng ating pong mga members. Okay? Bago po tayo magpatuloy, we would like to say hi to Miss Apple de Mesa. Happy Sunday, Miss Apple. I hope you have your coffee with you at I hope you're enjoying the discussion that we have so far. Again, lagay lang po sa ating comment section ng inyo pong mga comments, reactions sa ating wow quote for the week at sa ating pong HR question for the week. Ayan po. At syempre pa po, si SSS ay meron na naman pong announcements. Pinapaalalahanan lang po tayo ni SSS na kung kayo po ay wala pa pong online access, regardless if you're an employer, an employee, a self-employed member, OFW, voluntary members, dapat po kayo po ay meron ng access kay my.sss dahil karamihan po ng ating online transactions ay lahat po ng transactions ng SSS ay dinadaan na po nila online. Konti na lang po ang kanilang ina-accommodate offline. At pag offline po, kailangan nyo pa pong kumuha ng appointment bago po kayo makapunta sa SSS mismo. So para po smooth ang ating transaction, wala pong masyadong problema, make sure that you have access to my.sss. Pinapaalala din po ni SSS na ang mga disbursements po ngayon ay online na din po. Okay, so selected online services are now mandatory for both members and employers. Tandaan po natin yan. At sabi din po ni SSS, yun pong inyong pag mga members po, ang filing po ng sickness notification, maternity notification, unemployment benefit, retirement benefit, funeral benefit, salary loans, calamity loans, yan po ay ginagawa na po yan online. Ayan po, pinapaalala po ni SSS, online na po yung mga yaan. For funeral benefit po, over-the-counter applications will only be allowed for those who are non-SSS member claimant. Okay? So kung kayo po ay SSS member, mas madali po kung online. Actually talaga, ako personally, I have experienced that. Napakadali po pag online yan. Within a few weeks, makukuha nyo na po kagad ang inyong funeral benefit. Pag offline po, medyo mas matagal po siya. Okay? For retirement benefit naman po, for members who are at least 65 years old, as well as land-based OFWs and voluntary members who are at least 60 years old, pwede na po kayong mag-file online ng inyo pong retirement benefit. For the rest, maaari po kayong pumunta sa SSS at bukay ng schedule para ma-file nyo po ng offline. Pero if you are already 65 years old or kung kayo po ay land-based OFW or voluntary member, po pwede na po kayong at least 6 years old, online na po ang filing ninyo. Employers, kayo din po ay po pwede na mag-file online. So employment report ng ating pong R1-A, yan po ay online na po yan ginagawa. So yung mga nagtatanong po sa Philippines HR Group, may template po ba kayo nito? Hindi na po yan tine-template. Yan po ay pina-file na po online yung R1-A. Napakabilis po niyaan kasi once na ma-file nyo, automatic bibigyan po kagad kayo ng confirmation ni SSS na na-receive na nila ang inyo pong report. Paano po yun? Kasi yung employer ko dati pa, biglang nasama na naman ako sa listahan nila. Coordinate nyo lang po sa inyo pong HR, current na HR para makapag-refile po sila ng R1-A. Pag hindi po yun na-address, kailangan lang po makipag-coordinate ni HR dun po sa inyong pinakamalapit na SSS office. Ang sickness benefit reimbursement din po ay online na din po ang filing, my dear HRs. Ito po ay para sa mga initial na or new claims at ito po ay para doon sa mga na-approve na yung kanilang sickness notification. Pag yun pong mga may pinapahabol pa sa inyong document si SSS, kulang ang documentation, sabi ni SSS, offline nyo na po yan ipa-file. So hindi po yan online na. Pag may mga pahabol na documents pa po, offline na po ang filing niyaan. Set po kayo ng appointment, then punta kay SSS para maibigay niyo po yung mga additional na mga documents. Okay? Tandaan po, checklist na po ang disbursement for the following benefits: unemployment benefit, funeral benefit, salary loan, at calamity loan. For employers naman po, ang ating SBMA, sickness benefit, at yung ating maternity benefit, ay pareho na po yaang checklist disbursement po. Hindi na po sila nagre-release ng cheque. Yaan po ay diretso na po doon sa inyong enrolled bank account, disbursement account sa inyo pong my.sss. Make sure po na naka-enroll na po kayo sa my.sss at meron na po kayong endorse na bangko dun po sa inyong disbursement module. Doon nyo po yan makikita. Ang ina-accept po right now ni SSS ay mga bangko na miyembro po ng PesoNet. So lahat po, halos lahat po ng ating major banks ay member na po sila ng PesoNet. So wala po kayo masyadong po problemahin. Tumatanggap din po sila ng e-wallet tulad ng Paymaya as long as these are members of PesoNet din po. So kasama din po sila sa PesoNet network. UBP Quick Card, yan po ay na-accept din po nila. At ang mga payment outlets po na authorized remittances like M. Luwilier o yung atin pong mga money remittance centers po, as long as nandun po sila sa listahan po, pwede nyo po i-endorse yan as your disbursement account. Okay po, tandaan lang po natin, online enrollment of employer's account through SSS website for benefit reimbursement ay mandatory na po noon pang July 31, 2020. Last year pa po ito. So make sure po na dapat meron na po kayong naka-endorse na account po for disbursement po. Okay? Tandaan po natin ha, hindi na po yaan maglalabas ng cheque, so hindi nyo na po kailangan pang mag-intay ng cheque. Tandaan din po natin na kung kayo po ay meron na pong dati pang bank account na in-enroll po nung hindi pa po yan online ang enrollment for the bank account, yung mano-mano pa po. Kung may na-enroll na po kayo dati at nakapag-release na po ang SSS do sa bank account na yon, no need for you to have it re-enroll. Okay, makikita nyo naman po yan dun sa inyo pong module or dun po sa inyong mga tabs na naka-indicate na po doon yung bangko na nadidetect ni SSS na nakapag-reimburse na sila before. Okay po, tandaan po natin yan ha. Reimbursement claims without enrolled disbursement accounts ay i-reject po. Okay, so pag na-reject po yung mga reimbursement, tignan nyo po, baka naman po wala pa po yung enrolled na bank account, kaya po yan ay nare-reject. Only employers' authorized personnel will be given access and authority to enroll the account information. Employer must ensure the correctness of the encoded account information dahil pag mali po at unsuccessful po ang crediting, kayo pong kailangan makipag-usap kay SSS dyan. Okay? Employer is solely responsible for any loss in the event that bank account number provided to SSS is false or incorrect. Tandaan po natin yan. Okay. At pinapaalala din po ni Pag-ibig, nabanggit na rin po natin ito in the past few HR Cafe episodes, meron pong ongoing raffle promo po si Pag-ibig. So kung kayo po ay housing loan borrower, kayo po ay maaaring manalo ng 100,000 per month sa kanila pong mga monthly draws. Hindi per month, on their monthly draws po. Baka kalain nyo per month may makuha kayong 100,000. May monthly draw po sila at maaari po kayo manalo ng 100,000 doon po sa monthly draws nila or 300,000, 500,000, up to 1 million po sa kanilang grand draw. All you have to do is make sure that your existing housing loan from August 21 to December 21 ay always updated. Wala pong na-miss na payment para kayo po ay makasama sa raffle na ito. So for more details, please check Pag-ibig website. May website po ang Pag-ibig, pag-ibig.gov.ph, pag-ibigservices.gov.ph. Pwede nyo rin pumunta na pag-ibigfund.gov.ph/be updated para po malaman nyo kung paano po kayo makakasali dito. Para naman po sa mga miyembro po ng Pag-ibig, pwede nyo na rin po ma-check ang inyo pong mga payments sa Pag-ibig. Punta lang po kayo sa kanilang online services, enroll lang po kayo para na monitor nyo po yung mga payments nyo, pati po yung inyong mga housing loan at inyo pong mga multipurpose loan kay Pag-ibig. Okay po. Mentor Tina, would you like to take ang atin naman pong paboritong PhilHealth?
Ang PhilHealth, meron silang bagong accredited collecting agent. So PBCom is now accepting PhilHealth premium contribution payments from the employed section through the BankNet eGov facility. Now, a lot of people are asking, paano po mag-apply for online for SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig? Now, we are all HR practitioners. The information is out there. Okay, for you to register newly, you have to do it physically, pero afterwards, online na po lahat. So if hindi pa natin ginagawa, pakigawa na po because as reminded, if wala kayong binabayaran ng SSS and PhilHealth, pag nagkaroon ng COVID ang iyong mga staff, and at nalaman pala ng gobyerno na hindi ka nagbabayad ng mandated benefits, it is the company who is liable for the entire expense of that employee from the diagnosis up until to the recovery. So please be very careful because masyadong malaki ang financial liability if your employees do not have SSS and PhilHealth kasi hindi nyo po alam paano magbayad. Okay? Or hindi nyo alam bakit kulang-kulang yung bayad nyo or bakit hindi nyo napopost. Please take this very seriously, okay? More than dole compliance given the pandemic outside, please ensure that you pay SSS and PhilHealth. And of course, Pag-ibig kasi meron tayong raffle. Alright? Hanap-hanapin talaga ng staff nun. So, ito rin po. So, as mentioned as well, with SSS, PhilHealth is also accepting online payments doon sa PhilHealth portal for mga voluntary members. Okay? So, sa mga taong nahihirapan magbayad, may para-paraan po. Please ensure that you pay kasi maliit lang po yung babayaran ninyo, 1.5% for those who are employed, and yet the coverage that you get is more than what you pay for. Okay, next. So, ayan yung instructions. So, eto, ngayong 2021, hanggang ang dami pong mga sessions na ma-avail sa mga hemodialysis patients mula sa PhilHealth. Philippine HR Group, despite our personal, whatever you might say about PhilHealth, we have always been promoting all the benefits of PhilHealth para po sa mga taong nagdadialysis, nagkaroon po ng COVID-19, nagkaroon po ng karamihan ng sakit that requires hospitalization, talagang covered siya ng PhilHealth. So, sino ang mga qualified? Lahat ng miyembro or qualified dependents na may stage 5 chronic kidney disease at ang pagdadialysis ay batay sa prescription ng isang licensed doctor at nakapag-enroll ang pasyente sa PhilHealth Dialysis Database. Okay? So, if you are informed, you get all the benefits. Please be informed. Huwag lang aasa sa HR Cafe, umasa din po sa sariling pagre-research kasi sobrang daming free, basta alam mo lang paano mag-apply. Okay? Next?
Correct. Correct. Actually, Mentor Tina, ako, at ang dami natin nakikita niyan, di ba, sa ating group na
Yes.
sinasabi na, naku, wag na tayo mag-contribute sa sa
Correct.
PhilHealth kasi kung saan
Yes.
nila ginagamit. Naku, wag po. Bukod sa dahil sa mandatory ito at sila po ay talaga namang mandated to provide universal healthcare, malaki din po talaga ang tulong ng PhilHealth. A personal experience, I know of someone who had COVID at umabot ng 1 million yung kanilang bill, napababa po yun to around 200,000 na lang po. Still significant, but if you would take into consideration how much
Correct.
was yung nabawas sa kanila, ang laki ng kinover ni PhilHealth doon. And you have to really be aware of this. So, kailangan talagang tinitake advantage nyo ito. If you have HMO, alam nyo ito na yung mga HMO, hindi nila i-cover hanggat hindi binabawas ang PhilHealth. So, minus PhilHealth and then your HMO will be applied. So, kahit pa paano, ang laking tulong din ito. Especially if you had COVID. And right now, itong pinopromote ni PhilHealth, yun naman pong para sa ating mga hemodialysis. Ang laki din pong tulong nito if ever you have employees who had to undergo hemodialysis or yung inyo pong mga ex-employees na nawala na sa inyong company. As long as you are consistently paying for their SSS, for their PhilHealth coverage, ang laking tulong po nito. 144 sessions po ito without PhilHealth. Napakamahal po nitong mga sessions na ito. So maganda po talaga na we make sure that yung PhilHealth coverage po ng ating mga empleyado, wag nyo po yung pababayaan. Make sure that you pay it on a timely manner. Hindi na po mahirap magbayad ngayon sa PhilHealth. Online na din po sila. Doon po sa mga nagtatanong, naku, paano po yan? Pwede pa po ba mag-over the counter sa mga bangko? Kailangan nyo pong kumuha ng letter. Kumbaga excuse letter kung bakit kayo over the counter pa rin dahil matagal na pong ni-require ni PhilHealth ang online payment po. Wala po kasi kaming bank account. Mag-open na po kayo kasi malaki po ang magiging ginhawa sa buhay pag kayo po ay merong corporate bank account. You can either have yung mga bangko na part ng eGov or one of the things that I always recommend even do sa mga nagiging clients namin, Union Bank. Walang kahirap-hirap si Union Bank. Union Bank, Security Bank, they are allowing those na medyo maliit lang yung opening amount para kayo po ay magkaroon ng corporate account. Especially with Union Bank, if I remember correctly, for SME checking account, 5,000 lang po ang opening nila. You'll have access to SSS PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, BIR. Pwede na po kayong magbayad. And they also provide payroll disbursement din po. So walang kahirap-hirap, 5,000 lang. Hindi kayo mahihirapan, hindi kayo mamroblema kay PhilHealth, kay SSS, kay Pag-ibig. Online lahat ng transactions. Ayan po. So yun lang po yung reminders natin pagdating po kay PhilHealth. And of course, we would like to invite our members po. Total tayo po sa NCR ay naka-GCQ. Although alert level 4 pa po tayo ha. Yung iba pong mga parts ng Pilipinas po ay naka-lower alert levels po. So pwede po kayo kahit papano kung stress na po kayo, baka it's time to take a vacation. And of course, for vacation, for your vacation needs, andyan po ang ating El Puerto Marina Beach Resort and Vacation Club. They have yung resort po nila in Pangasinan. They also have one in Boracay. So magkakaroon din po sila sa Palawan. So ayan po, baka kung kayo po ay talaga naman pong pagod na, you might want to consider visiting El Puerto Marina Beach Resort and Vacation Club. Reach out to them, let them know that you are part of Philippines HR Group para kayo po ay maka-avail ng discount po sa kanilang mga room rates. Napakaganda pong magstay sa El Puerto Marina, napakatahimik po at talaga naman pong makakapagpahinga talaga po kayo. So if ever medyo stress out na sa city life, El Puerto Marina is the answer sa inyo pong mga stress. At kung kayo naman po ay gusto nyo namang gamitin ang panahon na ito para i-extend ang inyong knowledge when it comes to HR, nandyan naman po ang ating partner na BNext po. kung kayo po ay naghahanap ng mga virtual na training or webinars na gusto niyo pong attendan, we would like to encourage you to be part of People Matters Be Next. This is a virtual HR certification program. 25% off po pag kayo po ay member ng Philippines HR Group. Ano-ano po ang kasama dito sa mga certification programs na to? They have certification programs for virtual recruiting and onboarding, virtual performance management, and reimagining employee experience. So kayo po ay maaaring mag-avail ng 25% discount kung kayo po ay member ng Philippines HR Group. Reach out to us para mai-coordinate po namin doon po sa ating contact person for People Matters Be Next. Ayan po. At kung kayo naman po ay naghahanap ng platform para naman po ma-manage na maigi ang inyo pong mga empleyado, we would like to recommend People Force. People Force is an all-in-one HRM for small to medium-sized businesses. The focus is on people and not on processes. If you're a member of Philippines HR Group, you can try their platform for free for 14 days. Bistahin lang po natin ang www.peopleforce.io or scan the QR code that you can see in your screen right now. Kung hindi po makitang maigi ang QR code, reach out to us sa HR Cafe Facebook page po or message nyo lang po any of the admins and moderators sa atin pong Philippines HR Group. Kasama po sa module ni People Force ang People HR. Ito po ang kanilang HRIS system where you can track all employee data in one click. This is also where you can find leave tracking management, onboarding, HR calendar, and knowledge base for your employees. People Perform naman po is People Force's way of managing employee mood tracking, OKRs across your organizations, one-on-one meetings, and individual objectives for each of the employees within the organization. If you're looking for an attendance tracking, People Time is the best platform for you. One tool for all of your projects. It's a very, very flexible task management platform. It allows you to log timesheets and reports for hours by day and by task. People Recruit, on the other hand, is your recruitment management system. It's a centralized database of all the candidates that you are processing. It's also a good way to manage the vacancies that you have, customize funnel stages, create templates, and send emails automatically. So wala na kayong ngayong bibitin ng mga applicants po. Lahat po sila ay mabibigyan yun ng feedback whether they move to the next stage or it's the end of the line for them. Ayan. People Pulse din po is also included in People Force's HR management system. The People Plus platform allows you to conduct online employee surveys, automatically send out invites and reminders, and create detailed analytics in real time. Ayan po. Ang maganda po sa People Pulse is that you can get surveys or you can conduct surveys with the answers stored anonymously. So talaga naman po magiging objective po ang inyo po mga survey and you would be able to really understand what's happening within the organization. Ayan.
Rona, we have a question on the floor from RJ Aringo regarding SSS. So ang tanong po niya, once nag-resign po ang empleyado at may natitira pa siyang balance ng kanyang loan, tulad ng salary or calamity loan, sa employer, need ba daw nilang i-deduct sa 13th month or any benefits na pwede makuha sa amin? Nakalagay po kasi ito sa terms and conditions ng SSS at pwede naman pong hindi or pwede naman daw na hindi i-deduct. Ano ang ipapresent ng employer para po, pwede ba ng waiver? Okay, pwede ba ng waiver? Kasi uso yung waiver, okay? Good afternoon po and thank you po sa pasasagot.
Okay,
Go,
kalma-kalma po tayo sa waiver ha. Hindi po lahat ng waiver ay
legit.
enforceable or legit. Para din po kumbaga pag pumunta kayo ng field trip at pinapirma kayo ng waiver na ano man ang mangyari sa inyo, wala kaming kasagutan. Yan mga ganyan po ay most likely hindi po enforceable. So yun po mga waivers po, waiving.
On SSS.
Yung SSS payments po ay maaari po yung hindi ma-enforce dahil tandaan po natin na nung tayo po ay nag-apply for SSS loan, isa po yan sa inagrihan natin. Meron po kayong part dyan na kailangan yung umagree sa terms and conditions at isa po sa mga inagrihan nyo ay dapat po kayong idideduct po yan in full dun sa inyo pong final pay. Kaya 13th month lang yung na-receive nyo o kung ano pa man po, pwede po yung i-deduct in full. Okay? Ngayon, paano kung kunwari kulang? Kasi usually dyan nagkakaproblema eh. Yung kulang yung kanilang final pay para ma-deduct. Okay, sa mga ganyang kaso po, dalawa po yung nire-recommend ko palagi dyan. Either treat that as an accountability and tell your employee to settle that with you before you give them their clearance, or kung kayo naman po ay talaga naman nakikita nyo na kung mahihirapan itong empleyado na ito, create kagad kayo ng proof that you have deducted this, and then have that coordinated with the HR of the new employee. Okay, the new employer, or the new employer, not employee, the new employer, responsibility nila to get yung proof na nabayaran or kung nasaan na yung bayad doon sa loans ng empleyado na yun. Kung pwede po yun only in that instance. But if there is final pay at hindi kayo nag-deduct doon, kayo rin po ang mahihirapan dahil lalabas po yan doon sa inyo pong PRN for loans. Okay, so ingatan niyo po yan. If you need to have that deducted, make sure that you deduct it. Otherwise, magkakaproblema po kayo. Okay?
Alright. For
So,
employers, usually, di
waivers
ba,
po,
may waiver? Dalawang waiver yan eh. Usually, ang ginagawa ng employers, ninja moves to eh. The first waiver is, pag start ng empleyado, wala pa mo ng SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig. Right? So, ang sasabihin ng employer, gagawa tayo ng waiver. Nagre-request ka na dahil ayaw mong babaan ng take-home pay mo, gusto mo, sa'yo na lang ibibigay yung pera, tapos kayo na lang po magre-remit. Yung employee na lang magre-remit. Okay? That might be the case, but if there is anything that happened to your staff, for example, nagkaroon ng COVID, the employer is still liable even with the waiver. If the person got pregnant or the person got sick, or the person, Lord heaven knows, died, the employer becomes liable if hindi kayo nagbayad ng SSS and PhilHealth, even with the waiver. Same with the final pay. Okay? Pwede kang magpa-waiver for your own peace and mind, pero pulot dulo, ikaw pa rin ang hahabulin ng SSS because it is the employer's responsibility to deduct the final pay of the employee to pay for the outstanding loan sa SSS. Okay? So, pa-waiver pa
okay.
more, but be very careful because the waiver does not protect the employer at all. It only lets the
Yes.
employee get away with it. And ito pa, kahit na may waiver ka na pumapayag ng employee na huwag bawasan ang payroll niya kasi pag nahuli po kayo ng SSS, kayo po magbabayad ng lahat. With penalties. With
At tandaan
penalties.
natin ha, si SSS ay po pwede silang magpakulong. Okay? Hindi ito yung tipong mga kailangan nilang bayaran or things like that. Hindi po. Maaari po kayong makulong pag hindi nyo po yan inayos na maigi. Basahin nyo po yung Social Security Act of 2018. Baka magulat na lang po tayo na ayan na po, meron ng reklamo sa inyo at kayo po ay subject na pala for a criminal case. So ingatan po natin yan. Okay? Mga HR, ito po ay hindi yung tipong boss ko naman ang bahala dyan. Hindi po. Sabi po ni Social Security or ni SSS, equally liable po kung sino man yung nagpa-process. At ang nagpa-process ay si HR, so kayo din po ay magiging liable for that. Be careful with that.
Alright.
Now, ito rin po yung tatandaan natin. There is a reason why loans have to be certified by the employer. Hindi po yan yung tipong wala lang para lang alam nyo. Hindi po. Sinicertify niya kasi kailangan nyo rin pong tignan or i-discern kung ito bang empleyado na to ay may capacity to pay. Isa po sa mga sinicertify nyo, the capacity to pay. So if kayo mismo alam nyo, pa-resign na, huwag nyo pa i-approve. Okay? Ba't nyo pa i-approve? Alam mong pa-resign na or alam mo na at some point ito ay magre-resign. So, make sure that when you approve, this is for people na alam nyo magtatagal at alam nyo makakabayad or hindi man magtagal, at least yung kanilang final pay would be sufficient to pay off the balance. Baka yung tipong 2 months na lang ay magre-resign na or paalis na nag-file pa, pwede nyo po yung hindi na i-certify, reject nyo na po yan at sabihan nyo siya na paglipat mo, doon ka na po magpa-certify. Kasi sila na po ang bahala dyan. Pwede nyo po. Kaya po kayo nagsicertify niyan. Okay? The ability to pay and yung reasonableness ng timeline ng kanilang paglo-loan. Yan po ang dahilan kung bakit po kayo nag-a-approve. Okay?
Alright.
May isa pa tayong question actually. Hi po, habang hinihintay po natin ang ating speaker right now, kasi I think na-disconnect po siya. Sabi ni Miss Liza, paano po treatment sa maternity benefit leave? Binigay ang 7 days sa husband niya. Converted po ba sa cash pag di po ginamit ng husband ng 7 days as leave? Ayan. Naku
Ang
po.
nagbabayad dyan is yung employer ng husband. If you are going to allocate 7 days of leave to your husband, meron kasi yan sa notification form eh. The husband must actually also notify the employer and that is to be paid by the employer. Hindi kailangan nakasal po kayo. This is very different from paternity leave which requires cohabitation and a legally married certificate. Okay? Ngayon, ang problema kasi, Ma'am Rona, usually tinatanong is, yung reimbursement naman ng employer doon sa 7 days ng husband. Admittedly, ang daming nakasulat sa SSS kung paano kumuha ng maternity benefit ang wife, but there is nothing that says kung paano ma-reimburse ng employer yung 7 days na inallocate ni wife sa husband. Okay? So, Rona?
Ito po ay pag kayo po ay nag-allocate na po kay husband, hindi po ito reimbursable. Okay? Hindi pa
Aha.
reimbursable kahit dahil ito po ay shoulder ng employer ni husband. So
Correct.
syempre hindi naman po fair na yung employer ang mag-shoulder tas ire-reimburse pa. So hindi po yan reimbursable kasi hindi rin po sila po pwede magpa-reimburse kay SSS. Okay? Ang i-reimburse lang po ni SSS ay kung ilan po yung natira kay nanay. So bago po mag-allocate sa caregiver, sa husband, sa partner, or kung sino pa man, make sure na yung pag-allocate nyo po ay magagamit niya talaga. At yun naman po mga employers po nung pinag-allocatean, you have to honor that. Okay? If you're not going to honor that, if nakikita nyo na, uy, hindi talaga kita pwedeng payagan ito, you have to coordinate that with the husband para si husband or si caregiver or si partner, masabihan kagad yun pong nanganak para maiayos po niya yung pong niyang ipapa-reimburse. At yung sa HR din po nung employer nung nanganak ay maiayos po doon. Otherwise, yan po ay non-reimbursable po.
Kaya nga.
Okay
And make
po.
sure your husband is an earning employee. Kasi kung yung husband nyo unemployed, there is no employer to give the 7 days to the husband. Make sure that by the time na nanganak ka na, employed si husband para meron siyang 7 days of paid leave. This actually works best if your husband earns more money than the wife. Okay? So for example, mataas ang sweldo ng lalaki, bigyan mo na ng 7 days kasi mataas po ang makukuha. It's a paid leave. Okay? But if the husband is unemployed or earns less, ubusin mo na yung 105 days, 'di ba?
mas mas advantageous sa inyo na kayo na yung gumamit ng 105 days.
Yes.
Ayan po. At mas maganda pa nito kung kung yung inyo pong partner or yung husband ay kasal po talaga kayo kasi pag kasal kayo, meron kang 7 days na allocated plus meron ka pang 7 days na paternity. So total of 14 pag kasal po kayo. Okay?
Okay?
As employer din yan na-consume ang 7 days. Convert ba ni employer sa cash? Hindi po. Hindi po yan kino-convert sa cash. Kung hindi
Pag
niya
hindi convert,
na-consume,
bye-bye. Oh,
oo,
bye-bye.
kung hindi niya nagamit, ba't hindi niya nagamit? Kasi ina-allocate na sa kanya, ba't hindi pa niya ginamit, di ba?
Converted naman to cash, ba? If you're absent, you take that leave, you're still paid. So take that leave. O, di
Take
ba?
the leave. Oo.
Take the leave.
Ba't hindi
Hindi
niya
yung
ginamit?
papasok ka tapos papakonvert ka pa. Take that leave, bayad yung leave.
Oo.
So, take care of
Pag
your son or your
inallocate,
daughter.
yes. Tatanda, lagi ko to sinasabi, pag alam niyo ang mga benefits niyo, naku, take advantage of it. Huwag po kayong mahiya na mag-take advantage. Benefit niyo po yan. Kayo po nagbabayad niyan kay SSS. Take advantage. Ayan. So, wala pa rin po ang ating speaker.
Shall we introduce?
Opo, wait lang po. Ang ating pong speaker right now ay I think na-disconnect po.
Alright.
Ayan. So habang disconnected pa po ang ating pong speaker for the day, ayan po, habang iniintay pa po natin siya. So kung may mga questions po kayo, pakilagay lang po sa ating
maternity benefit. The employee, pinaalam niya na pregnant siya. 5th month na siya, then paalis na siya sa company. Chances are end of contract to. Okay? So, pa-resign na rin at nag-render na lang ng days. Need po ba namin na ang employer ang mag-notify or yung employee na lang since she's gonna be self-employed? Rona?
Wait lang, hindi ko naintindihan. So, na alam na pregnant siya. Paalis na siya sa company. Okay, kung paalis na po siya sa company at 5th month pa lang naman po siya at hindi pa po siya nakakapag-notify, pwede naman po kayong dumiretso na kay PhilHealth, lalo na kung wala pa namang lilipatan, para diretso na po yung coordination, PhilHealth, kay SSS, para diretso na po yung coordination kay SSS. Pwede naman po yun kung hindi pa kayo nakakapag-notify. Kung nakapag-notify na po kayo doon sa employer, nagpasa na ng MAT1 doon sa employer at si employer ay naibigay na yung MAT1 na yon na isubmit na rin kay SSS. Okay, na-notify na rin nila si SSS. Ang kailangan nyo na lang po ay certification of no benefit advance. Yun na lang po yung kailangan ninyo.
And L501.
Yes, an L501 yung signature card. Employers, HR, wag niyo pong masyadong itago yung L501. Pag hiningi po sa inyo yan in relation doon po sa maternity notification or maternity reimbursement, pwede po kayong magbigay ng copy niyan. Okay, wag po
Pero
kayong matakot.
Mentor Rona, I think ang hinahabol ng maraming empleyado is the salary differential. Kasi if they're still employed, may pangdagdag, lalo na if the income is above 20,000, right? So, they hope sana na bago pa sila mag-maternity leave, resign, makuha na po nila yung full maternity benefit. Paano po yon sa employer kasi sila ang mag-reimburse and hindi na po connected sa employee ng company by the time na nanganak si employee. Paano po yun, Mentor
Tandaan po
Rona?
natin, ang salary differential po ay para po ma-cover kung ano man yung kulang doon sa nakuha niyang maternity benefit during the maternity leave itself. Kung kayo po ay nag-resign bago pa kayo manganak at ma-enjoy yung inyong maternity leave, okay? Wala pong employer na wala na pong nagpapasweldo sa inyo, so wala po kayong differential na makukuha. Kung gusto nyo i-take advantage yung differential, wag kagad magre-resign. Okay? Wag din naman po na nag-maternity leave, tapos hindi na bumalik. Wag din naman pong gawin yun. Okay? Wag nyo din naman pong pahirapan ng inyong employer. So as much as possible, it's okay to take advantage of benefits, but do it in a proper way. Kung wala namang reason para mag-resign, di ba, maayos kayong pinayagan na mag-maternity leave, inayos ang inyong maternity benefit, binigay ang salary differential, make sure that you take advantage of that, but report back to work, do your work, and then after some time, if talagang hindi na kaya, then that's the time you resign. Pero wag po yung resign kagad kayo bago pang manganak, and then maghihingi kayo ng salary differential. The only time na ito po ay magiging problema pa rin, at least the maternity benefit part, magiging problema pa rin ng employer is if you resigned within or nanganak kayo within 15 days from separation. Sila pa rin po ang mamoproblema ng maternity benefit. Benefit ha, hindi po salary differential. But other than that, for salary differential to kick in, you need to be an active employee of the company para yan po ay may take advantage nyo. Pag hindi na active employee, wala po kayong salary differential dahil wala naman pong salary in the first place. Okay? Ayan po. So, ayan. So, yan po yung ating mga Yes! Nako, kung mayroon pa po kayong mga katanungan, email nyo lang po kami sa amin pong email address or reach out to us dito po sa Philippines HR Group. Hanap lang po kayo ng mga admins and moderators natin, message nyo po sila or reach out to us via HR Cafe and we'll try to address you inyo po mga questions. So we'll also see kung kaya pa po natin or may time pa po tayo mamaya for your questions. But for now, ayan po, we are very, very much excited to introduce our speaker for today dahil naman po, ito pong ating speaker for today ay isa pong world-renowned personality. Her mission is to help build a powerful personal brand that enables everyone to build your influence, monetize expertise, attract ideal clients, create an impact, and ultimately build a thriving business. She has helped a number of entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants who are expert at what they do, build their influence, monetize their expertise, and attract clients through personal branding, content marketing, and lead generation using LinkedIn. Bilang HR professionals, bilang professionals in general actually, dapat tayo po, we know how to take advantage of LinkedIn and she would help us work through that right now. She has worked with a number of startup founders, industry leaders, globally recognized coaches and consultants, and key executives from Fortune 500 companies. She has garnered 7 million plus organic views on LinkedIn. Imaginein mo yun, 7 million plus. She has been featured in more than 60 media sites globally, featured and cited thrice on Forbes, thrice on Marketing in Asia, thrice on Entrepreneur Media, and has spoken in international events including Pioneers, hindi ko alam kung ano yung tamang pronunciation doon, Global Virtual Summit in 2020. She's the creator of Top Filipinos to Follow on LinkedIn for inspiration and learning. She's also the founding host of LinkedIn Local Philippines. She's been published and cited in international journals and has worked with coaches, consultants, freelancers, entrepreneurs from 10 plus countries, hindi lang po sa Pilipinas, and 5 regions worldwide. She is considered to be the number one LinkedIn expert based on Google search as of August 2021. She's a former freelance writer and editor for 10 plus years and a former college professor for 11 plus years. I am very, very honored to introduce to you none other than the LinkedIn personality herself. Ito po ay talaga, pag nakita mo siya, LinkedIn kagad ang may isip mo. None other than our very own Miss Virginia Bautista. Miss Virginia, we are so happy to have you here today. Kamusta po kayo? Ayan. Medyo
Good
naka-mute po
afternoon.
ata kayo.
Nakamute lang.
Oo,
Good
nakamute lang.
afternoon, Ma'am Virginia. Thank you for joining us today. I'm really looking forward to your webinar kasi LinkedIn, everybody here uses Facebook, there's YouTube, there's even TikTok, right? But we are all HR practitioners and working professionals. So really looking forward at how LinkedIn can create value and impact to our careers. Paano kayo
Thank
napasok
you.
po sa LinkedIn? Can you share with us a little bit on how you even get started on such a
Mm-mm.
wonderful
Everything.
journey?
Yeah, first I want to first good afternoon, Rana and Ina. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. And I'm sure the topic that I'll be sharing today will be
Mm,
relevant to all of you for HR
correct.
practitioners, HR professionals. I want to clarify now at the beginning that I'm not at any way affiliated with or connected with LinkedIn. So independent ako, independent consultant and marketing specialist on LinkedIn.
Perfect.
On your question, it's a long journey. Pero
Correct.
I was looking at your wow quote today, and sabi nung quote, social media is the ultimate equalizer. And this is very true, especially on LinkedIn. Those
Mm.
people na dati idol mo, it can happen na pareho, you
Oo.
will be at the same platform, same level. Dati binabasa mo sila sa publications, say on Forbes, and you will find yourself also having a space on publications like that, all for free through LinkedIn. So it's really an ultimate equalizer because it levels the playing field. Everybody, sabi nga ni Tina, everybody can be an influencer. And sabi ni Rona, it's just a matter of how you use the platform. Do you want to use it to spread positivity or do you want to use it to spread negativity? The choice is ours. And when you choose positivity and you choose LinkedIn, you'll
Mm.
never go wrong. You will see that your career will really skyrocket because you will attract positive opportunities for yourself.
Yan.
Perfect.
Maikwento
Okay.
ko lang. Maikwento ko
Kwento.
lang. Oo. Kasi nabanggit ni Miss Virginia na it levels the playing field and actually yung nakikita mo dati, nababasa mo lang, you are in the same level na with these people. And one of siguro highlight na ng career ko, David Ulrich, the father of modern HR. Imagine mo, the father of modern HR accepted my invite. Nung inaccept niya yung invite ko, buong araw akong nakangiti. Because this is David Ulrich that we are talking about, and he has authored a number of books. So nung inad niya ako, nung inaccept niya yung invite ko, Diyos ko, saya ko. Talagang pinost ko siya. Talagang super buong araw, ngiting-ngiti ako. So it's actually true that it levels the playing field. The people na dati tinitingnan mo lang na, naku, unreachable, hindi ako dito papansinin and things like that. Biglang ngayon, ay, inaccept niya ako,
Connection.
and
Oh, diba?
diba, they've become your connection, and not only do they become your connection, you actually learn something from them. Diba? You get to see how their thought process is, ano yung mga nilalabas nila, you get to understand where they are coming from. They would give you mga pieces of advice, quotes for the day, for example, na talaga namang mapapaisip. And so it's really, I do agree that it's a really an equalizer. It gets everyone on the same playing field. So if sa mga nanonood ngayon, kung wala pa po kayong LinkedIn, baka panahon na para kayo po ay magawa na inyong sariling LinkedIn profile.
It's a
Ayan.
great way to also find professional mentors, people that you've only read about, who you hear in the media being talked about, whose ideas you would love to learn more about. Kasi there is really no way for you, tayo dito in the Philippines, to approach these people. But LinkedIn is through connections, mutual connections over time. Then these people really become reachable. And if you actually build your reputation in LinkedIn as somebody to be trusted, who is competent in your field, it's very easy for them to also welcome your feedback. Kasi everyone
Yeah.
naman is friendly. Ang natatakot lang sila ma-scam. So, if sa LinkedIn you show that you build your reputation, they know you are legit, then it's so easy for them to actually accept you because they don't mind helping others. They're just very careful about their own data privacy and security because they're very busy people too. Okay?
That's right,
Ayan.
Tina. They don't mind helping others. Tayo lang ang natatakot mag-reach out sa kanila. But we will be,
Yes.
it's surprising how much they are so open, to accept us. And this afternoon, that's one of the things that I want to share with the audience, with the group. How do you actually make yourself look legit? Much more than legit. How do you look credible so that you attract opportunities for your career? So, hindi ka matatakot kahit may pandemic, because I believe that every job is temporary. Now,
Correct.
it's our job to find our career insurance. How do you say no when you don't like a job? How do you say yes only to your dream job and not to any job that comes in front of you? You can do that by building a personal brand, because with a personal brand, employers, hiring managers, and recruiters are the ones who will come find you. And I'm sure you know that. I'm sure you've reached out to someone on LinkedIn and gave them this offer and invited them for an interview.
Yeah, and LinkedIn has some of the best job opportunities ever. Like when I actually browse through LinkedIn jobs, it makes me regret being employed in my current job. Kasi parang ang ganda-ganda talaga ng
Mm.
opportunity. Like food, at that time last year, Food Panda and Grab were really hiring for or recruiting for upper management levels. And you
Mhm.
can't find that in JobStreet or Indeed. You can find that talaga in LinkedIn. And when you look at all the requirements, it's something that most of us can actually reach for. Okay? Ang sarap talaga mag-browse sa LinkedIn. So looking forward to your presentation, Ma'am Virginia. We'll just be on the background giving you support. Over to you.
Thank you. So I see my screen. Let me check. Um, Let me know if you can already see my screen.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
we
we can
can.
see na po.
So I can start now. I don't see the I don't see the
Yes
screen,
po.
ladies
Yes,
and
go
gentlemen.
ahead.
Okay,
Go
Ampa.
ahead po.
okay. So just let me know anytime if you have questions. But again, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much, Rana and Tina, for the opportunity to be here. And this afternoon, I'd like to share with you some insights about LinkedIn, because I know that many Filipinos are still not familiar about what LinkedIn is all about. There are already 9 million members from the Philippines, and I just looked at the data yesterday. There are only 85,000 Filipinos who are active on LinkedIn, and that's like less than 1% out of 9,085,000 are active. So my hope this afternoon is that if you're not active on LinkedIn, after this, I hope that you will go to LinkedIn and start using the platform to really attract opportunities for yourself. Because this I'm telling you this not based on theory. These are all based on my experience and based on the experience that of the clients I have worked with, more than hundreds of clients in more than 10 countries in 5 regions worldwide. I'd like to thank Rana for the introduction. I don't have to introduce myself, so I will skip this part. But what I want to highlight in all of this really is that everything that you see here, these are some of the things that I have accomplished, at least for myself. Because success for me, I want to highlight that success for me is when I am better today than I was yesterday. So all of these things that you see here, I was able to do this only through LinkedIn. I've been working from home since 2010, and all of these opportunities came to me inbound through LinkedIn, because I really don't do outbound lead generation for myself, but we do that for our clients. So all of these are actually, let me get a pointer. All of these are actually all because of LinkedIn, and that's the reason I really am super passionate about sharing what LinkedIn can do for us. And it's my advocacy to help Filipinos really leverage LinkedIn. So the way I was telling kanina, no, that we actually can, LinkedIn actually is an ultimate equalizer. It levels the playing field, that you can now attract your dream job. It's no gonna the days, if you remember before, once we graduate, ano yung ginagawa natin? We prepare CV and then we send CVs here and then siguro 100 CVs you will be sending. And then after that, you hope and pray na sana may tumawag sa akin. Those days are long gone. What you need to do, whether nasa school pa kayo, you're in college, or in your early career, or in your mid career, and you want to reinvent your career, you want to pursue something else, change career, change industry, what have you, whatever your plan is, the easiest way to do that is not to chase people, not to chase recruiter, but to build your personal brand. It would be good, it would be better if the recruiters, the hiring managers, the employers are the ones who will come find you. And while you're happily employed, they will reach out to you and they will offer you something else. I think that's much more exciting than being nervous about do I still have a job tomorrow and all that. So, what is a personal brand? This is a concept that is also not yet Filipinos are not yet so familiar with, but this is more of a Western concept. Here in the Philippines, kasi when you say personal branding, Filipinos would say personal bragging. They say, okay, magyayabang ka lang, but that's not what really personal branding is all about. So let me walk you through on the basics of personal branding. I'm sure you're familiar with Jeff Bezos, and he said, your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. Think about it. Starting last year when the pandemic started, you're no longer in the same room where people are. So before you meet someone you haven't met before, the first thing that that person will do is actually to Google your name. So the first thing you need to check is go to Google search, use an incognito mode, and type your name. What appears, and look at what appears on page one. That is your digital footprint. That is your online reputation. So there's no chance anymore. The chance is very nil now that you are in the same room with people. And you're building your brand because you want to build a perception of you. And that perception should help boost your career. So it's really like personal branding is how people perceive you. Anyway, whether you build your personal brand or not, we already have a personal brand. How we deal with each other, how we communicate, all of these things, how we present ourselves in social media, not only on LinkedIn, but in social media in general, that's already your personal brand. But I think it will be better if you can manage your own brand, your own personal brand, your own perception, how people perceive you. I've met a lot of people like this that when they came to me, I remember there was someone, she is a head of a multinational company, country manager here in the Philippines, and she wanted to build her personal brand. And her main concern at the time was that when you Google her name, she has so many publications. I mean, so many interviews. But the problem is these interviews portray her in different lights, in different perspectives. So now when you Google search her name, you won't have any idea sino ba to? Ano bang klaseng tao siya? What is he all about? Because there's so many things going on around her. And building her personal brand means, really managing how others perceive you. Because now perception is everything. But don't think of it this way. Before you go to LinkedIn and complete your profile, it's very important to have clarity on who you are, these things, who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do. This is a common mistake among Filipinos, most especially. They go to LinkedIn and then they treat it as a CV. First of all, your LinkedIn profile is not your CV. It's so much more than that. So before you complete your profile, before you start your profile or optimize that, you have to know who you really are. Sit down and really have that introspection. This is the thing that we are not able, we don't have a chance to do. We're also busy. We have so many tasks to do. We have so many deadlines. Maraming dapat gawin. And at the end of the day, all of our working hours and sometimes overtime pa, especially now that we're working from home, there's no limit na eh. Working hours ba to or family time ba to? There's a blurring of that. There's no boundary anymore. So I would like to encourage you to really sit down first before you complete your profile and ask yourself questions like, what are your values? What is your vision? Say 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year from now. How do you see yourself? Same position, but what other things do you want to have? So, what do you do now? What exactly is it that you do in your company right now as an HR professional? What do you do? I'm sure it's more than just recruiting. It's more than just doing all of these paperwork and all of this, all of these projects. You're so much more than that. And then ask yourself, why are you doing this? Why do you get up in the morning and log in and go to work? And then at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, you stop working and then just to work the following day. Why are you doing this? When I was in the corporate world, I didn't have a chance to ask myself these questions. So I think if I would go back, that's the first thing that I want to do. So ask yourself who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do. Because now it's very important, people will, even in the corporate world internally, for example, especially if you're a new hire and you only meet people virtually, say sa Zoom lang kayo nakikita, how would your boss or your colleagues know what your credentials are? How would they know what else you can do aside from your job description? I have this experience in I was a managing editor before for a US based company. And at the time, I was the managing editor and my team of writers, the team is composed of content writers from the US and from the Philippines. So I was thinking how can these people from the US like trust me as their head, as the managing editor? And then one time, one of my key writers, she's from the US and she's a veteran writer already. She sent me an email and she was saying something positive. And then she said that she actually visited my LinkedIn profile. And from my LinkedIn profile, she knew what I had been doing. So that time I realized and I thank myself for building my profile. Kasi ganun yung mangyayari. You don't have to introduce yourself. You don't have to tell them, here's my credential, this is what I can do. You don't have to say that. Your LinkedIn profile will speak for you. And once your profile is optimized, automatically you will get the trust of the people that you work with. And now, since we're working from home, I find this really relevant because people won't know what else you're good at. People won't know what your credentials are. And you have no time to tell them and you wouldn't even bother to do that. Hindi naman tayo, di ba, tayo mga Pilipino, we don't say that. Oy, ganito ako, gito yung mga achievements ko. We don't do that. What if you put that on your profile and position yourself? And when they visit your profile, you will automatically get their trust. These days, now we're all working remotely. Personal branding is no longer an option if you want to attract opportunities that will really help boost your career. So ganito lang yung tanong ko lagi, would you rather look like this? Itong profile to so kinover ko yung pangalan niya. So when someone visits your profile, would you rather look like this? Parang if you go to a networking event and this is how you look. Or would you rather look like this? You bring with you and you align your own personal brand with a company brand. They see a brand, they see someone, they see the value of who you are. So I think it's a no-brainer. Which one we will be choosing, no? This one or this one. But it's an option. I see a lot of profiles on LinkedIn, especially for Filipinos, ganito yung itsura. Okay, they create a profile and then gano'n na lang, kinalimutan na lang yung profile nila. Actually, yung suggestion ko, if you have a profile and you don't intend to update that, I would rather remove my profile. But if you're there, then start completing and optimizing your profile, and so you can use your profile as a magnet of opportunities that will come to you. So let me give you some tips on how to do that. But before that, why on LinkedIn? If you are an HR professional and you've been using LinkedIn and maybe you're using LinkedIn Recruiter, I'm sure you're familiar with all of these numbers and why professionals have to be on LinkedIn. First of all, there are already 774 million members on LinkedIn in 200 countries and regions worldwide. So imagine how many professionals there are in the platform. Hindi ka mauubusan ng opportunities. And with the pandemic, the global market has opened. And it's been open since then kasi I've been working from home since 2010. And I've been working as a freelancer with US-based clients. Noong 2010 pa yun, Singapore, US, and different countries. But most Filipinos are not aware na pwede pala yun. Pwede ka palang mag-freelance, pwede ka palang kumuha ng project at i-employ ng foreign, ng clients from foreign countries. But with the pandemic, now people understand na it's possible. And most companies now embrace what we call distributed model. When we say distributed model, it means that they have talent from anywhere in the world. It's possible now. So ang nakikita ko nga nito, since you're HR professionals, ang advantage niyan is that for the company, ang disadvantage for the company is that mas mahirap nang humanap talaga ng talent. Because now, ang advantage sa talent is they see the global market has opened. Now, as a talent, I have an option. Do I want to be employed in a local company, or do I want to do freelancing to have contracts in international companies? Pagdating sa salary difference, malaki ang difference. Kasi ako noon, I was teaching for more than 11 years. When I resigned, ang salary ko, ano yung salary ko? 29,000, and chair ako noon. So plus 4,000 minus tax. So magkano siya? 33, 34, around that. Minus tax pa yon. Pero yon, when I started freelancing, nag-freelance ako noon 2008. When I started freelancing for international companies while working full-time, so nandun na pa rin naman ako, full-time pero nag-freelance ako because the world is already open and they accept freelance writers from different countries in the world. So na-realized ko, yung 1 month ko palang salary, kaya kong kitain na 1-2 gabi. Minsan hindi ako matutulog. Pero doon ko na-realize na meron palang ibang opportunities. And now, mas maraming opportunities because more employers, more companies abroad are open to that idea. So that's the number one value because now you can go global. You're not limited by where you are. And number two, LinkedIn is the most trusted platform for 4 years in a row, according to Business Insider's Intelligence Digital Trust Ranking. So kinuha ko yan, 2017, 18, 19 hanggang 2020, yung latest survey. LinkedIn is the most trusted. And when you want to do business, when you want to get hired, when you're looking for a job, trust is very important. Also, there are also numbers that I got. So there are like 57 million companies on LinkedIn. So again, imagine mo na lang, hindi ka maubusan ng opportunity. Number two, in 2020, content creation increased by 60%. And I personally felt and observed this. Noong 2020, na lockdown tayo for the first time sometime in March. Sa Philippines pa lang, ang daming naging active na LinkedIn members. It's because we're online, we're at home, and we have time to really check out social media platforms. And I'm happy that isa sa mga tinignan ng mga Pilipino is LinkedIn. Then towards the end of 2020, I think we started rethinking our careers. So nag-iisip na yung mga Pilipino, and habang nag-iisip sila, I think pumunta sila sa LinkedIn, started creating content and looking for opportunities. So this is an opportunity for you kasi ilan ba? Out of 774 million, according to LinkedIn, ito naman in 2018, there are only like 2 to 3 million content in the newsfeed. So ganun lang kakonti yung content creators. So if you become a content creator on LinkedIn to attract opportunities, then you already have an advantage over those na hindi sila nagpo-post, hindi sila nag-share, nagbabasa lang sila. They are merely lurkers. Dalawa yan, either you're a creator or you are a viewer of content. You consume content. Also, there are 61 million senior level influencers on LinkedIn. So these are the decision makers who can make a decision on whether to hire you or whether to do business with you. So those are the opportunities on LinkedIn. Now, my question is this: are you actually building your personal brand on LinkedIn? Mamaya pa yung Q&A natin, no? So mamaya na rin ako magtatanong. But I want you to think about this. If you have a LinkedIn profile, what are you doing with your LinkedIn profile? If you're not doing anything, I will really encourage you to start using your LinkedIn profile as a tool for you to really achieve your career goals. Okay. Ayan, sinabi ko. If not, you're missing a lot of opportunities. Because for myself, nakita ko yan eh. Lahat ng akala ko hindi ko kayang gawin because opportunities came to me. And I said yes. Sabi nga ni Richard Branson, if someone gives you an opportunity and you don't know how to do it, just say yes. And then do your homework later. So ganun yung ginawa ko noon. So na-realize ko kaya ko palang gawin to. And then I discovered what exactly that I love to do. So today, this afternoon, I'll show you how do you actually attract opportunities using your LinkedIn profile at the comfort of your home. Okay, number one, ito muna. What opportunities will you get? Number one, job opportunities. Of course, recruiters, hiring managers, they're there to look for talent. And even if you're employed, you will be surprised that recruiters and hiring managers will reach out to you because they're also after passive candidates. Hindi lang yung naghahanap ng trabaho, but tinitingnan nila yung mga passive candidates. Because passive candidates, they have jobs and they're not looking for jobs. But usually they have all of these credentials that the recruiters need. So you will get opportunities. And this is real. The jobs are the ones that will come find you. It's so real on LinkedIn. I'm not saying naman na naghahanap kayo ng job. But what I'm saying is that kahit hindi sa inyo. For example, in my case, I get a lot of job opportunities. Minsan kasi on LinkedIn, merong mga hindi rin nagbabasa ng profile. So they will invite me to apply in this position, in that position, and they don't even know that this is not my interest. It just happened that the keyword they used it just happened that my profile had the keyword that they used. So what I do if I get opportunities that are not for me, I look at my network and sino kaya yung nangangailangan ng ganitong opportunities. Or I share it with my LinkedIn group. Okay, who needs this opportunity or who might be interested? So if it's not for you, at least you are able to help others get jobs, those who need these opportunities. But even then, it opens the door. When someone contacted you and you responded, you replied politely, I think that will open the door for you to start building relationship with that person. And in this world, relationship is everything. It's our currency right now if we want to attract job opportunities as well. What other opportunities will you get? Networking opportunities. I think in the past or until ngayon, people will actually pay associations, mga ganyan, di ba? Just to do networking and to get business opportunities. But you can actually do that on LinkedIn. You can curate your own network. You can choose who you want to be in your network, those people who can help you achieve your goals. Put them in your network. When I say put them in your network, I mean connect with them. If they accept, they're in your network. If you share content, they will see your content. And when you start having conversation with them, that will help you build a relationship with these people because networking opportunities are meant to be the starting point of building a relationship. You will also get a lot of learning opportunities on LinkedIn. Sabi nga ni Rona kanina, di ba? She's able to read yung mga posts na people she looks up to. This is the first thing that really attracted me to LinkedIn. Imagine if you're on LinkedIn, you're following thought leaders and influencers, you're learning from them for free. No, you're learning like Bill Gates, Richard Branson. You get to know what's in their head. You get to know how they succeeded. You get to know their challenges, their failures, and you get to pick up what can I learn from their challenges. What can I learn from the lessons they shared, so that I become successful also. From here, I become more successful. So all of these learning opportunities are so important to our own growth as a professional. You will also get media opportunities. I was mentioning kanina, most people, many people will actually pay PR companies just to get featured in top tier publications like Forbes, Entrepreneur Media, Inc. magazine. They pay PR companies to do that. But when you're active on LinkedIn, you can actually get that opportunity for free. And it's a huge opportunity because in my experience, that one feature, the first feature on Forbes, changed everything in my business. So suddenly, I had so many opportunities coming to me. So one opportunity lang, minsan game changer na eh. Isang opportunity lang ang makuha nyo, everything else, magkakaroon ka ng mas marami pang opportunity. I don't know, but there's something about getting opportunity because it multiplies. Yun yung lagi kong sinasabi eh. When you get one opportunity, it multiplies. And when you have the right goal, it can help you achieve your career goals. Also, if you are, say, you have a business, it can also create business opportunities for you. So technically, we're also using LinkedIn to do some lead generation, but you can also use this for inbound marketing. So inbound marketing, meaning you're doing content marketing and the people are the ones who come to you and ask about your services. So that's how you get business opportunities through LinkedIn. And of course, relationship opportunities. Don't forget that, because everything, lahat ng opportunities na makukuha natin, learning, job opportunities, networking opportunities, media opportunities, all of these things boil down to one thing, and that is building relationship, because it's your relationship, it's your network that will help you achieve your goals. It's really not LinkedIn. If you look at it, LinkedIn is a tool. Use it to build relationship, and your relationships with people are the ones is the one that will really get you to your goal. So now the question is this: how do we attract opportunities through LinkedIn? Paano ba yon na hindi ka na mag-a-apply? Hindi ka na mag-a-apply, yung recruiter, for example, in your case, as a professional, yung recruiter ang lalapit sa inyo. Or kapag magre-retire ka na, marami akong kausap na Pilipino na they're already planning to retire. So kapag nag-retire sila, they still want to have a source of revenue. No, hindi, or habang ngayon empleyado ka, you have one source of income. Pero ako, I learned early on that it's not a good idea to rely only on one source of income. Kailangan mo talagang mag-diversify if you want security. Mag-invest ka or diversify your source of revenue, meaning hindi lang galing sa isang job yung source of income mo. Kasi pag nawala yon, how will you provide for your family? Dapat meron kang multiple streams of income. That's one thing that I learned early on LinkedIn, and I discovered that through the opportunities that came to me. So, nung nag-start ako ng 2010, empleyado rin ako eh. So, I relied on one income. Then I learned, hindi dapat ganun. So now, I have at least 12 sources of revenue. Parang yung feeling na hindi ka lang nakarely sa isa. Kahit mawala yung isa, you have 11 other sources of income that will help you really support your family. And all of these things, nangyari lang to because of the opportunities that came to me. But of course, it's not overnight. So let me walk you through. Rona, if you're just let me know no yung time, because I might not be able to see.
Sure
Yung,
po.
thank you. So, what do you need to do? How do you attract opportunities? Two words lang. Stand out. When you stand out, everything else becomes irrelevant. You don't feel like you have a competitor. Millions, hundreds of thousands of people vie for the same position. Marami kayo eh. So imagine yung sinabi ko kaninang global market. If in the past, a company based in BGC, for example, will hire people from around the area, from nearby areas. Mga nasa nearby. Yun lang ang competitor mo. But now the global market has opened. So now companies are starting to embrace distributed model. Remote work from home, and it means ang competitor natin hindi lang yung nasa nearby areas. If you want to you want work for international companies, ang competitor mo will be global na rin. But when you stand out, you won't even think about the word competitor. Automatically sa akin, kasi if you know who you are, everything else becomes irrelevant. Wala kang competitor. And that's the good thing about it. Now, how do you actually do that? What I learned on LinkedIn is that personal branding, yes, it's building your reputation, but how do you do that on LinkedIn? So I have a simple formula that can help you, easily remember. To build your brand on LinkedIn, number one, you have to be visible. Number two, you have to define and communicate your value. Very important yan. Tayo mga Pilipino, when we apply for a job, we don't even tell the company how much we expect. Kasi ang alam ko niyan, nung nasa corporate ako, nag-hire din ako ng team. So, bago pa yan ma-hire, alam na namin kung magkano yung salary. I don't know, siguro HR professionals, you know this. And I could be wrong kasi noon pa ako nasa corporate, no? Pero parang meron ng salary kasi sa teaching, ganun eh. Ano yung experience mo, ito yung what ira-rank ka nila. So kung ito yung rank mo, ito yung sweldo mo. And tayo mga Pilipino, hindi tayo sanay that we communicate how much we are worth. Sometimes we don't even know our worth. That's the thing about Filipinos, even myself in the past. Kung anong i-offer, okay, basta may trabaho ako, basta may uuwi ako sa bahay. But hindi na ganun ngayon eh. Because now you have the global market. You can earn as much as you want as long as you are focused and as long as you know your value. So, importante yan on LinkedIn if you want to attract opportunities. Define and communicate your value through LinkedIn. And that's not enough. You should also be adding value to others. Personal branding is not about you. It's all about how you help others. And believe me, once you are able to help others, it comes back to you 100-fold. You don't even to ask for it when you need something. And number 3 is vulnerability. When you go to LinkedIn, you're not going to build a persona that is not you because that's very difficult. You go there, be you, be authentically you. And there's nothing more fulfilling than, people liking you for who you are, than people liking you for who you are not. So tatlong things yan, tatlong factors yan. How do you build your personal brand? The 3 V's: visibility, value, and vulnerability. So let me go through all of this very quickly. Now, first challenge ng mga LinkedIn members, when they go to LinkedIn, nag-post sila, parang wala namang reach. Imagine nyo, for 3 hours, pinag-isipan mo yung post mo, tapos you get 5 or 10 views, 20 views, 30 views, 50 views, and you get nothing out of it. Because visibility is the most difficult on LinkedIn. Now, I'll teach you now how do you actually become visible on the platform. First of all, this is how do you increase your visibility. Okay, so if you have your LinkedIn profile, medyo tingnan nyo na yung LinkedIn profile nyo, and if you can apply all of these, I would encourage you to do so. Number 1, LinkedIn is a huge search engine. Kailangan naka-optimize yung profile natin. So my number 1 on my list always is keyword optimize your LinkedIn profile. If you want recruiters, if you want hiring managers, if you want people who want to do business with you to reach out to you, make sure that your profile has the keyword that they're using when they're looking for talent. So for example, you are a content writer. Kailangan yung content writer nasa profile mo yan because recruiters and hiring managers would use LinkedIn as a search, parang database yan ng mga tao. So maghahanap sila dyan, they will type content writer. Now, kung wala ka ng keyword na yun sa profile mo, hindi ka appear sa search nila. Therefore, they will not find you. Okay? So whatever it is. Now, there are places on your profile that you should place your keywords. So hindi lang keywords na isang beses. Kailangan you have it in different parts of your profile. Starting with your headline. Your headline, these are the words below your name. And this is super critical to you getting found on LinkedIn. I only have 2 keywords, LinkedIn and personal branding. So I place that here, LinkedIn expert and personal branding. Lagi yan magkasunod because that's my positioning. I don't want to be known for as anything else. I just want to be known as a LinkedIn and personal branding strategist. And I'm sure that the people that I want to attract are the people who already understand what personal branding is and they're using their keywords in searching for someone like me. So dapat nandyan siya. So makikita nyo sa headline ko, inulit ko siya, LinkedIn, personal branding, LinkedIn, personal branding. Para mas mabigat yung weight niya kasi ang keywords talaga mabigat on LinkedIn headline. Where else will you place your keywords? On the about section. You have 2,500 characters, lagyan nyo ng keywords nyo yan. So kung titigyan nyo, nandyan din yung mga keywords ko. Personal brand, LinkedIn, personal branding, and all that. Okay. Also, on your title. Yung title nyo dito, if your title is generic and not the kind of title that you want to be found for, you can actually edit that. So in my case, for example, I used my keyword pa rin, LinkedIn expert and personal branding strategist. You will notice even if I'm a founder and chief content strategist at VB Consulting, hindi ko yan nilagay dito. Hindi ko yan inuna. Because I don't want to attract opportunities as a founder. Kasi pag founder ka, ma-attract mo people who are looking for jobs. Hindi mo ma-attract yung people who are looking for your services. So if your goal is to be found by people looking for jobs, it's okay na founder ka, it's okay na CEO ka, yan ang main keyword mo. But that's not what I want to attract at this point. At this point, I want to attract, for example, potential clients. So nandito siya. Now, experience ko before when I was in the corporate, kasi I have to use my keywords. Ang title ko noon, position ko noon, hindi na pala sa corporate to, nasa freelancing ako full-time for Singapore-based company. Ang position ko then is Head of Quality Control. Yung quality control team namin, it's a virtual team of writers and editors. Mga writers and editors kami because that's what I do. Freelance writer and editor ako. Pero when I search on LinkedIn, tinype ko yung sa search box, yung quality control. Ang lumalabas yung nasa manufacturing, nasa ibang industry. So sabi ko, hindi naman helpful sa akin yung position ko na head of quality control kasi I don't want to be found as head of quality control na keyword na yon. That's not what I want to attract. So ang ginawa ko, change ko yung title ko. Ano ba yung generic, ano ba yung keyword dun sa ginagawa ko? As head of quality control, it simply means I'm the lead editor and trainer. Head ako ng editing and training team. So yun yung nilagay ko. Nilagay ko lead, trainer, and editor because I wanted to be found as a trainer and editor, not as a head of, quality control. Pero in-explain ko din sa profile ko para naman hindi ma-surprise yung team ko. Baka sabihin nila, bakit iba yung title mo, iba yung position mo. So I explained it. As head of quality control, I also function as, nilagay ko yung mga keywords ko. My point is, pwede nyong baguhin. Hindi nyo kailangang sundin exactly as it is kung ano yung nasa job description nyo sa LinkedIn nyo because you have total control of your LinkedIn profile. Depending on your goal, use the right keywords for you to get found. If you think you have the wrong keyword, then edit your keyword and make it align with everything. So that's how it works. So doon ako, for freelancing ko, all my clients then inbound. They get to see me using my LinkedIn profile, through my LinkedIn profile as well. Number 2 tip, grow your network. You can only have up to 30 connections on LinkedIn, but your network can grow because number 1, your network includes your first degree, second degree, and third degree connections. So those who are not familiar, first degree connections, yun yung connections. So for example, connection ko si Rona, first degree connections kami. Now for example, si Tina, if hindi ko siya connection, pero connection siya ni Rona, therefore, Tina is my second degree connection. And yung connection ni Tina na hindi ko connection are my third degree connection. Nasa network ko pa rin sila. And then, kasama din sa network nyo, yung members of your group. So for example, I know that Darwin, meron din kayong group sa LinkedIn, di ba? May HR Philippines din. So how many members? I think 2,000 plus. All of those members are added to your network. So lumalaki yung network nyo. So it's important to grow your network. And I'll tell you why. For example, connection ko si Rona and Tina. Wala na akong example, hindi kayong dalawa, sorry. Connection ko silang dalawa. Tina and Rona are in my network. Network ko sila. Now, for example, for example, I'm looking for a digital marketer. If you are a digital marketer, or HR na lang, HR specialist, I'm looking for an HR specialist and I type it there. Even if you have the keyword HR specialist on your profile, if you're not in my network, I won't see you in my search results. So, hindi kita makikita. Kasi si Tina at si Rona lang yung nasa network ko. If Tina and Rona have that keyword, HR specialist, then they will appear in my search results. Kung wala sila sa network ko, all of those are outside of my network, you won't be found by your searchers, by me as a searcher in this example. So it's important to grow your network. Baka nga may keyword nga kayo, pero ang connection nyo 10, 20, 30, that's not gonna help you. For it to work, i-target nyo na at least 500. And nakita ko niyan talagang pinaka-useful siya kapag nag 1,000 above yung connections nyo. Tingnan nyo rin kung yung connections nyo, maraming connections. So, before you accept connections, yan ay number 3. Connect only with relevant and active LinkedIn members. Don't connect with everyone. Here in the Philippines, ang galing natin, connect tayo kahit kanino. Oy, in-invite ako, sige, accept. That's not the way it goes. You have to strategically use your LinkedIn profile. Number one, you can only have up to 30,000 connections. And number two, you have to use your profile strategically. Ano ba yung opportunities ng gusto mo? Now, all of those people who you think can help you achieve your goals, add them to your network. I think that's a difference sa ano eh. I think sa Facebook tsaka sa LinkedIn. Sa LinkedIn kasi pwede mong piliin kung sinong gusto mong makakita ng content mo, kung sino yung connections mo. And there's a huge difference pag connection mo compared sa hindi mo connections. When you're connected with people, you can endorse their skills. You can give them recommendations. You can message them directly. And you can see their post also on your feeds. But then I always say, connect only with those who are active. There's so many what I call dead people on LinkedIn. Di ba kanina nga 9 million Filipino members, but in the last 30 days, around 85,000 lang yung active. So doon ka lang makipag-connect sa 85,000. Huwag kang makipag-connect sa hindi active because they won't be useful actually when you start sharing your content. Okay. Number 4, leverage other people's network. What does this mean? If your network is still low, konti pa yung connections mo or network mo, you have to engage in other people's content. So halimbawa ako, no, meron akong 40,000 followers. If you comment on my post and I commented also on that your post will be visible to my network. So that's what I'm saying, na leverage other people's network. Mag-comment ka dun sa mga malalaki yung network. Because when they reply to your comment, your post becomes visible to them. Also, ayan, ito yon. So, make LinkedIn, when you are tagged as well, you can set your profile kung gusto mong matag. If ayaw mong matag, you can set it off then. So, when you get tagged, engagement. This is crucial on LinkedIn. Kahit mag-post ka dyan every day, konti lang yung result makukuha mo kung hindi ka nag-engage. Ang rule ko kasi is 60-70. Your success on LinkedIn is only based on 40% of what you post. And 60% is based on how you engage. So makikita naman yun sa activity nyo, ito ba post ng post lang, gusto niya siya lang yung naririnig, o nag-engage din ba siya? It's very simple. Number 5, just like other social media platforms, use relevant hashtags. But the keyword here is actually relevant. Hindi siya katulad ng Instagram na paramihan ng hashtag. On LinkedIn, maximum of 3, according to LinkedIn. Para effective siya, it has to be, maximum of 3 relevant hashtags only. Huwag niyong punuin ng hashtags. So, yeah. It get discovered also, and your hashtags have to be relevant. And choose a hashtag that your target audience is actually following. Number 6, when you read this, it's quite contradictory, no? So I said, stop sharing other people's content. So for example, nag-post si Rona. If I share, when I say share, I mean literally, if I hit this share, na shinare ko lang siya sa profile ko, wala masyadong use sa akin yun eh. Because this won't be visible to many of people in my network. It will be useful to Rona kasi it will boost her post if I share her post. Pero sa akin, walang impact yon. So, I don't recommend that you do this unless you just want to help that person get more reach. Pero ang goal, if yung goal mo is makakuha ka ng reach, this is not the way to go. Because when you share something on LinkedIn, very, very limited yung reach. So what you can do is to upload natively. But make sure to tag the original content creator. Hindi yung copy-paste What have you learned from that post? Ngayon, may feature na yung LinkedIn na you can actually turn your comment into a post. Try that. But what I do, create your own, tag the content creator, and then remove the link. I mean, post without the link and then edit and then place the link again. This is also so that you can have more reach. The point here is that posting on LinkedIn requires also understanding the algorithm. Kasi kahit everyday ka mag-post, if you don't understand the algorithm, very limited lang yung reach na makukuha mo and very people will discover your profile. 7, curate content that matters to your audience. I included this in my list because I see a lot of Filipinos na pag nag-post sila, they post content that they like. This is a big mistake. When you post content, it's not for you. ay, gusto ko tong i-share, gusto ko siya. Hindi eh. But the question is, does your network like that content? Is that useful to them? So always think about, will this be beneficial? Will this help my target audience? Sometimes kasi, if something is very basic, for example, nakita ko si Rona and Tina kanina, yung Q&A nyo about PhilHealth, SSS, nakikinig nga ako kanina kasi I don't know these things. Parang kabisado nyo na, di ba? So, even if si Rona, siguro 100 times mo nang narinig yung tanong na to, parang ayaw mo na siyang ulit-ulitin, no? Pero what if yun pala yung laging tinatanong ng mga tao? So even if you don't want to talk about that because that seems very basic to you and you feel like I'm going to repeat this, say this again, um, it's not what you like or what you don't like that matters. It's what your audience likes. So kung yun yung FAQ nila, yung frequently asked questions nila, you might as well create content out of that and you will be rewarded with engagement. Kasi yung pag pinost lang natin, feel ko lang, gusto ko lang to. Huwag ka mag-expect ng engagement. Kasi hindi mo inanalyze useful ba yan sa audience mo, will that help them? And ayan, may mga actually, I got this example because this is an article, pero yung article niya hindi naman talaga originally written. What he's doing is he is curating content. And that's fine. When you curate content, you make it easy for your network to learn. Kinu-curate mo yung content that they could learn from. Okay, number 2, so yung una is visibility. You have to be visible. Number 2, you have to demonstrate, show what you can do, demonstrate your value. So how do you do that on your profile? First, have clarity on what you do and who you help. Kahit even if whether you're an employee or an independent consultant, you need to have clarity. If I am a recruiter, a hiring manager, or an HR professional, who am I helping? Yung company ba o yung talent ba? Ano yung perspective that you want to share? Are you actually are you leaning towards more helping companies find the top talents, or are you leaning towards helping the talent find their dream jobs? So always ask the question, what am I here for and who am I helping? Importante yan, no? Before we are able to add value to others, we should first be clear with who we are and what value we can offer. Because on LinkedIn, this is what I'm telling you, positioning is everything. When you say positioning, how you are perceived in the mind of your target audience. And kung hindi ka clear, lahat ng, marami akong nakikita, author, speaker, trainer, lahat na yata ng keywords nandun sa headline nila eh. And I know for sure, ang dami nun kasi there's no clarity. Yung iba kasi, we know how to do a lot of things eh. So, author din ako, or speaker din ako, or trainer din ako, or consultant din ako. But the thing is, the more you add to the list na kung ano yung ginagawa mo, the more people forget you. So, ang challenge ko lagi, advice ko lagi, get only one. Be good at that. Be known for that one thing. And once you are known, it's easier to rebrand, it's easier to change company. Kahit saang company ka, if they know you for your expertise, people will come to you. Pero kung hindi mo alam kung anong gusto mo, hindi rin alam ng tao, ano mang ginagawa nito? Ano ka ba? Speaker ka ba? Or HR consultant ka ba? Or what? Or trainer ka ba? That's what I learned. So ako, crucial. Since I started doing this, dalawa lang yung keywords ko. Pinag-combine ko sila because this is the unique part of me. A lot of people are doing LinkedIn. A lot of people are doing personal branding, but fewer people are doing personal branding through LinkedIn. So find your niche, find your positioning. And number 2, use LinkedIn headline, your headline, to communicate your value. Ito na yung, okay, so what's my value and how do I communicate this through my profile? Take note that your title is not your value. Whatever your title is right now, HR specialist, HR professional, that's not your value. You are so much more than that. Because we are not defined by our jobs. We are not defined by our job titles. So, kailangan alam mo ano ba yung value ko and how do I articulate that through my profile so that my current employer, my colleagues will see what other value I can offer, or if you're thinking about transitioning later on so that I can achieve my future goals for my career. So yung example ko dito, I help entrepreneurs build their websites. Hindi yan value. Yan yung task mo. Freelance web, hindi rin yan value. Yan yung position mo perhaps. Marketing consultant at XYZ company. So for example, nilagay niyo yung company, that's okay. But that's not your value. Etong yung mga generic, medyo ano ako kapag generic eh. Kasi when you write coach, ang daming coach eh. So what makes you different? Speaker, ang dami din. Trainer, ang dami din. Tapos pinagsama-sama nyo pa sa profile nyo lahat. Speaker ka na, speaker, coach ka pa, trainer ka pa. Ano ba? Ano ka ba talaga? What's the value? Have clarity. So when you're looking for the value that you offer, you need to always have a differentiator. Whatever is unique about you, yung unique value proposition. Lahat tayo meron yan. And I'm sure your unique value proposition is not in your job description. It's in yourself. Look at your history from the day you started your career until now. What is the pattern that you see? You will find the value somewhere there. And yun, i-translate nyo yun to keywords. Translate your value to positioning because you have to articulate that through LinkedIn. And most importantly, if you position yourself as this or this, whatever it is, you have to be able to prove that, provide social proof. Because people have no time to really look at your profile. O ano bang mga credentials ito? Ano bang, what are, how, why should I trust this person? You have to make it easy for them to understand what you are all about, to understand your values. So add as many social proof as possible. So ito yung LinkedIn profile ko before. Ganun din, nasa headline ko. So makikita nyo, kahit nagbabago, I stick to my lane. Hindi ako nag-change mind, oy, ano ngayon, madami ngayon, mayroong gustong lead generation. Mag-lead generation expert nga ako. Hindi. Kung ano lang talaga yung gusto ko, because that's exactly who I want to be known for. I stick to that. And that's how I found all of these opportunities because I have that grit to stick to what I really want to do. Hindi pwedeng pa-iba-iba din. This is an example. This is Josh Timely. So this is what she does. He does. And it's interesting, no? You can also add something interesting about you. Very important to show your personality on LinkedIn. So hindi naman kailangan masyadong seryoso. You have to show your personality as well. And I love this LinkedIn banner, no, ni David Breyer. Punong-puno siya ng social proof. Why would I trust this person? Social proof lahat yan. And pagdating din sa headline, nandyan din siya. Google's #1 rebranding expert. So, ganyan lang gawin nyo. You position yourself because whatever your job description is, whatever your title is, there is a value that possibly most people around you are not able to see yet. Now, use LinkedIn to demonstrate your value. No one will know that unless you articulate that. Always remember. Also, LinkedIn has a feature called featured section. You have to feature your best works. If you want your colleagues to know exactly your value, your potential employers, you have to feature what's best. What I always suggest is either if you have created something of value to your audience, put that on your featured section. If you have like a video, whatever it is that show who you are personally, kasi video iba yun compare sa nababasa ka lang nila. So put that also on your featured section. I have some examples here. This is the featured section from Josh Timely. So siya, yung articles niya that are helpful to his network, nasa featured section niya. And David Breyer as well, naka-feature din sa kanya yung content that he thinks would be of most value to his audience. Number 4, use the about section to talk about how you can help. Make it personal. First person. Talk about who you are, what you do, how you can help, and why you do what you do. Don't forget the why. It's easy to talk about who you are and what you do. Ang dali niyan. How you can help. Madali. Pero yung why. If you are recruiting, why are you doing this? If you are the one, ano ba ginagawa sa HR, whatever it is that you're doing, there should be a why behind that. So don't be afraid to share your why on the about section. That makes you human. And on LinkedIn, it's a human to human interaction. 5, add social proof. Yun nga, yung sinabi ko kanina. Endorsements, recommendations, whatever you have created, i-digitize nyo lahat ng whatever content you've created in the past, digitize nyo and then use LinkedIn as your portfolio. Add social proof. Add your teammates for recommendations and ask them to, ask them if you can post it on LinkedIn. That's how you show your value, because people won't know unless you articulate that. Yeah, unless you define and communicate your value. So ayan yung mga achievements na pwede nyong ilagay. Endorsements, recommendations, accomplishments, so many on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is not just another social media platform. LinkedIn is a tool to help you advance your career. Then how do you provide value? Ito, I'll make it quick, no, kasi yung time. First, provide value by helping others. If you see me on LinkedIn, this is what I always say. Provide value by helping others. I'm not sure, can I play the video? Maririnig ba siya? Nakashare ba yung audio? And mapiplay ko ba yung video? Hindi yata. So wag ko na siyang i-play. But just want to say is that when you're on LinkedIn, personal branding is not about talking about you all the time. Personal branding is about helping others. Kasi if you just talk about yourself, wala namang makikinig sa'yo eh. Kung everyday, Monday, here's my book. Tuesday, I have a webinar. Wednesday, we have Facebook Live. Thursday, we have this, I'm doing this. No, people will tune out. What you need to do is think, how can you actually help your network? If you are an HR professional, nakikita mo lahat ng problema or ng lahat ng challenges ng applicants. Nakikita mo kung ano yung dapat gawin ng applicants para mapili sila sa job that they're applying for. So why not? Why not use LinkedIn to educate, quote unquote, applicants or candidates? Why not share your experience? When you have someone na na-hire, di ba minsan ang saya natin na, uy, na-hire siya. Nakikinatan ako pag HR, di ba? When you're a recruiter, and nakita mo na you're able to find a job for that person. It gives you that fulfillment. So now, why not share that on LinkedIn? Kasi it will be, if it's positive, it will attract positivity as well. Ay, nag-play siya. Nakashare ba yung audio?
Right now
No
po, hindi siya rinig.
Sige, huwag ko na lang siya i-play. How do we add value? Content creator. Create your own content. Create your own content. Huwag lang punta ng LinkedIn tapos nagbabasa ka lang ng post nila. Tapos naalis ka na sa LinkedIn. Walang value sa'yo yun eh. Walang value sa'yo. Siguro, yeah, pwedeng may value sa'yo. Kasi when you read their post, you learn something from it, you apply it, may value sa'yo. Pero yung presence mo yun, walang value sa iba unless makita ka nila that you actually share content. So if you really want to attract opportunities, you have to show credibility. You have to show that you know exactly what you're talking about. Share content that is helpful. Ang daming alam, like nakikita ko dito sa grupo, ang dami kong natutunan kanina lang, no? About SSS, GSIS, yung mga yan. These are important things, no? Whatever it is that you are really expert of, lahat ng content that you think will be helpful, share them on LinkedIn. There's nothing to lose and everything to gain. And you will see people will reward you with engagement. And makakuha ka ng message that will inspire you to further create content. And most probably that will help you already also find your why. Kasi ganun tayo eh. If you're not yet clear about your why, then that's okay. But take the journey, take the challenge of sharing content, take the challenge of helping others. And those people you are able to help, they're the ones who will help you define your why. Ganun lang yun. It's a journey. Personal branding is a journey. Number 2, curate content. If you don't have original content, that's not a problem. You can always curate content, share it with your network. Basta alam mo, these are helpful. Don't be afraid to share that. For example, I think yesterday, I knew that LinkedIn actually opens its top 20 LinkedIn courses for free. So, ibig sabihin, you can take the course for free. Yung top 20 courses nila in 2020, you can take the course for free. And once you have completed the course, you can actually upload the certificates on LinkedIn. So, that adds to your marketability, that adds to your value, di ba? So, what I did, I just share that on my LinkedIn post. Kinuha ko medyo matagal ko siyang ginawa kasi kinuha ko lahat ng links sa bawat isa. each of the 20 LinkedIn learning courses. And then I tag all the authors, all the LinkedIn learning instructors who are part of that. And then I share it on LinkedIn. It's not my original content. But ang naisip ko kasi, automatically, nung nakita ko yon, I know that there are so many Filipinos who are thinking about upskilling and reskilling, and they want to learn, yung for free lang, hindi yung magbabayad ka upfront at may makukuha ka pang certificates. So, shinare ko lang yan kahapon, and people are engaging with it. And they're thanking me for that. Ang kailangan lang talaga, is this helpful to them? If it's helpful, even if it's not your original content, pero you cite your source ha. Hindi naman copy-paste. Kasi ako sinite ko lahat doon, lahat ng authors, Dory Clark, Dave Crenshaw, lahat sila. And yung LinkedIn learning courses, nandun lahat ng link. So give credit to where credit is due. But the point is, you don't have to have original content to share on LinkedIn. You can curate content that is helpful to your network. Number 3, engagement champion. Ito naman, what I'm saying, what I mean by engagement champion is that you engage with other people's content. It helps you build relationship, and it helps that person gain more visibility. So for example, for Rona and Tina, if nag-post si Rona, if Tina engages with Rona's post, then that will boost Rona's post. Diba? It's a good thing. Very positive yun na nag-engage ka. Nag-engage ka na, nakabuild ka na ng relationship, natulungan mo pa siyang ma-boost yung post niya. And that's, marami ako nakikitang engagement champions sa LinkedIn, and I really like what they do. They keep, commenting. Pero yung comment naman dapat sincere. Hindi naman just for the sake of makapag-comment. That will not help also your personal brand. Super connector. Ito naman, if you have a large network, introduce people with each other. I've been doing that for years. So for example, yung sinabi ko kanina, someone will come to me, usually ngayon, they will come to me since noon. I'm looking for someone who can help in training for business writing. Do you have someone within your network? So automatically, when I remember someone who's doing that, nire-refer ko. So I remember dati nga may ni-refer akong isa. The person that was looking for a talent is actually from India. Connection ko siya. So nagtanong siya sa akin, I'm looking for someone who can do this training. And naisip ko agad yung connection ko. Top of mind siya sa akin kasi lagi ko siya nakikita nagpo-post sa LinkedIn. And then we've worked together sa other events. So I recommended that person. And that person got that opportunity. All expense paid travel yun to India. Nag-train siya sa India. He got paid for it, and at the same time yung travel pa sinagot doon. So these are the opportunities na hindi we possibly didn't expect. But because there are people na willing to introduce people with each other, yung opportunities nag-expand. So hindi lahat ng opportunities sa atin. Be always willing also to give opportunities to others, connect them, introduce them, and maybe they can find opportunities by building relationship with each other. And community builder, when you build a community, it doesn't always mean building a group like this. This is an excellent way of building a community. Meron kayong Facebook group. You can also do LinkedIn group. But even without a group, you can build a community on LinkedIn. And one of the things that I do, yung top 100 Filipinos on LinkedIn, this is a personal advocacy that I have. And I started this in 2018. Ang gusto ko lang talaga is, na-imagine ko kasi, if a Filipino is new on LinkedIn, when they create their profile, parang it's so sad eh. Wala kang connection. Saan ako hanap ng connection, yung ganun. But what if they see a list? Top 100. Automatically, you can follow yung top 100. So suddenly, that person doesn't feel like alone siya sa LinkedIn na wala siyang connection. And kapag nakipag-connect siya sa top 100, that person will learn from these top 100 Filipinos who are actively sharing content on LinkedIn. Mas makikipag-connect siya, lalaki bigla yung kanyang network. And helping each other with opportunities, that's also building a community. So that's the beauty of LinkedIn. You can build a community all for free. Just be authentic when you do that. You can also be an influencer, in sabi nga ni Tina, and you can definitely use LinkedIn to do that. Being an influencer, how I see this is that, again, on the perspective of helping others. You can actually be an influencer by inspiring them or educating them, giving them some learning, because the mindset of people on LinkedIn is that they're there because they want to be more successful and they want to be more productive. If you can help them do that, if you can help your network become more successful in their roles, they will look up to you as an influencer. You don't need a huge following. You just need a few people who believe that you are authentically helping them in their journey, in their career. Be a motivator. You're familiar with Francisco Daily. Daily yata siya nagpo-post eh. Sometimes, it's not always a good day naman in our career. And when you look at LinkedIn, tapos meron kang inspirational quotes, then suddenly it will make you think about something. So be a motivator. Walang negative on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is very strict with that. And you can report people kapag negative sila or, spammy. And LinkedIn acts on that. So very positive yung community. So be a motivator. And finally, konti na lang to, it's very important that you build your personal brand based on what is true to yourself. Huwag ka mag-imbento ng hindi ikaw just to impress people. That's not the way it is. People can smell inauthenticity, yung plastic, yung hindi totoo. They can smell it miles away. So you really have to be authentic if you really want to be consistent. Now, don't be afraid to tell your story, your backstory. All of us have backstory. So if you will be looking at my post this day, I actually shared a backstory. Backstory meaning it's my quite an origin story. Whatever it is that I'm doing now, how did I find myself in where I am right now? Saan ba ako nagsimula? Ano ba yung journey ko? And what can people learn from my journey? It's not to talk about my journey, but it's also to inspire others, yung mga nawalan ng trabaho during the pandemic. I want them to realize na it's not the end of the world. Pag nawalan ka ng trabaho, it means there's another door waiting for you. And that's what exactly happened to me. Yung kwento ko ngayon sa post ko is that, kasi di ba nasa corporate ako, tapos nag-freelancing ako. A few years after freelancing ko, I hit yung 6 figures every month. And at that time, mahirap yun eh. Mahirap sa corporate yun. Kasi for example, no, 11 years na nga ako, diba? Pero yung salary ko is like 33, something like that, 33,000 minus tax. Pero sa freelancing, madali lang siya. So, yung 6 figures a month, mahirap siya sa corporate, at least for me at that time. Pero easier yon sa freelancing. Pero talagang kailangan ready ka na you deliver quality output. So, I just shared my story because I lost that. The story is not I got the 6 figure job or freelance job. The story is that I lost it. Parang akala mo kapag meron ka ng 100 plus thousand in 1 month, akala mo hindi na siya matatapos. Pero nagulat ako, suddenly I lost it. Pero ano ba yung nangyari? I think it's more of a blessing for me that I lost that because it turned around everything for me. So yun yung backstory ko. And I'm not afraid to share that because I know that people could be experiencing challenges right now. And if they will only see that they are not the ones who lost jobs, they are not the only ones who lost jobs, they're not the only ones who are facing these challenges, it means may isip nila, okay, kung nakaya niya, kaya ko rin to. I just really have to believe in myself. What I always tell people, we don't need permission to be successful. We just have to believe in ourselves. And that's what I also share with people. We don't need permission. Kailangan lang, we have to believe in ourselves. So don't be afraid to tell that kind of story. Tell your story, share your journey. People want to know that there's a person behind your LinkedIn profile, that there's a human behind your LinkedIn profile. So stop talking about your credentials. Instead, talk about your stories. And I can assure you, it will change the way you see LinkedIn. Most people think LinkedIn seryoso masyado, puro technical, puro jargon. That's not true. It depends on who's using it. But in my experience, the ones that have the highest engagement are my stories. Hindi yung mga LinkedIn tips ko. Hindi yung personal branding tips ko. Yeah, may engagement ako doon. Pero hindi yun ang pinakamaraming engagement in the whole time that I am on LinkedIn. But it's my story. And the stories that I tell on LinkedIn. So don't be afraid to be human. We're all human after all. Ayan, meron akong some examples here. Ito, mga stories yan. How I applied at LinkedIn Singapore, I was rejected, then what happened? How did I become an independent LinkedIn trainer, speaker, and consultant? And how ano ba to? Working from home changed my life. When I started working from home in 2010, I never looked back. And the reason I share is that people who are in the same journey might find it, motivating, inspiring, and it's good when you are able to help even just one person on LinkedIn. And how do you get results? How do you get opportunities? Tatlo lang. Clarity, what do you want to do, who you want to help, and why are you doing what you're doing. Strategy. Hindi pwedeng strike anywhere. Kasi yung iba strike anywhere basta makapag-post lang okay na. You need a strategy if you want to get opportunities. And number three, consistency. Consistency in frequency. Daily ka ba magpo-post? Consistency in your messaging. You can go to LinkedIn and then talk about anything under the sun. Kailangan meron kang consistency in your messaging. If I'm doing LinkedIn personal branding, then I have to tell a story and then anchor that story on what I do, which is building personal brands on LinkedIn. Lahat ng story ko naka-anchor sa umbrella ko. Umbrella theme. Hindi pwedeng kalat-kalat because people will be confused. Ano ka ba talaga? So it starts with clarity and it can help you go with strategy and it can help you become more successful if you are consistent. That's all. Thank you. Yun lang po. I'll stop my sharing na, Rona.
Ayan. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Miss Virginia. Naku, nag-enjoy po kami talaga. Nag-uusap kami kanina ni Tina doon sa group chat. Nag-e-edit kami ng LinkedIn profile habang nagsasalita po kayo kasi ang dami. Ako personally, I learned a lot. I thought I knew everything that I need to know about having a LinkedIn profile, but may mga na-realize ako na oo nga no, bakit nga ba hindi ganun ko siya ginagawa. So ayan, nag-e-edit po ako ngayon ng aking LinkedIn profile. Ayan. Mentor Tina, ikaw, meron ka po bang question or may mga takeaways ka po ba from the discussion that we have today?
We're baby LinkedIn users, actually. We haven't really tapped the full span
Mm-mm.
of services that LinkedIn has. Because it's true naman talaga, LinkedIn is not as popular in the Philippines compared to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, right? Because people think there is really no way. It's really hard for them to monetize and feeling nila pang English. Parang for the Western world talaga ang LinkedIn. Pero if you have an MBA, for example, one of the requirements of MBA is they always ask the students to
Mm-mm.
create a LinkedIn profile and to put in a professional headshot. Okay, it's not a shot, it's not a personal page. It's really talaga professional, and how you dress yourself. So when people say LinkedIn, I equate it usually to makeup. Yung makeup na
Mm-hmm.
nilalagay mo sa mukha mo on what you want to show possible recruiters or professional colleagues or future professional colleagues. It's really how you want to paint yourself, not as parang as a personal mother, yung ano mo, yung but it's really talaga for work and for your personal development. So very useful talaga for me ang LinkedIn. Pero as I've said nga, ang daming mga jobs din that are so interesting that we cannot find talaga in local ano like companies who are from Southeast Asia or in the Western world. They're looking for general managers, heads of
Mm-mm.
departments. You can only find those in LinkedIn, and the interviews are usually done overseas. Diba? Before COVID, they usually fly you to like Singapore or Hong Kong, and the salary levels are so much more than whatever you will get in job street. Pero
Very
na-inspire
true.
kasi ako dun sa ano sinabi niyo po, that the best way for you to maximize LinkedIn is to actually be a giver. Hindi ka pwede maging swapang. Kasi that's
Mm-hmm.
really how you want to portray yourself, that you should be the go-to person of other people for professional help. 'Diba? So it's not
Yes.
just for you can't be self-serving eh kasi when people know you are self-serving, natatakot na sila sa'yo. It's the same when you network physically
Mm-mm.
before.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be with that person na pagpapasok sa network, ano, yung may dala-dalang calling cards, tas abot lang ng
Mimi,
abot.
ganun.
Oo, 'di ba? Tapos sabi niya parang add me, 'di ba? Add me on LinkedIn. Nobody really wants that kasi people are very afraid of self-serving people. But they welcome those who want to help others. Kasi
Yeah.
those who are very successful usually want to help others afterwards. And they want
Mm.
to be with people who help others. So if they know na kunyari peparahan mo sila, you want to be friends with them kasi you want to apply for a job in their company, yun talaga sobrang allergic yung
May
mga
ganun,
tao
no?
dyan, di ba? Ini-ignore. And if you have to be very careful as well kasi kung add ka ng ad,
Mhm.
sometimes LinkedIn will ban you. Kasi 'di ba maraming recruiters na nag-add,
Mhm,
they do
mhm.
it talaga. They copy and paste a blurb and then they message people all around their networks or to sa second network. Nababan ka talaga. Ma'am Virginia, can you
Ah,
share with us more on that? Kasi there are
sige.
also risks, 'di ba? LinkedIn does try to protect its users. And I've heard that they've
Mhm.
banned people.
Yeah, it happens, pero LinkedIn already has a solution to that. Early this year lang, nakalimit na yung connection request that we can send to 100 every week. Dati, we can send
Wow.
like 100 to 150 a day. We're talking about a day,
Wow.
so 2,000 plus in a month. Pero LinkedIn saw na nang-spam na yung mga tao, di ba? I'm sure sa mga LinkedIn inboxes nyo, merong insurance marami sa Philippines. Or what LinkedIn did is, okay, everybody hanggang 100 LinkedIn connection request na lang ang pwedeng send. So all of us tigo 100 na lang maximum every week.
And then followers and friends, connections. Ha?
Followers for connection. Followers unlimited. Eh. People can follow you. If they see your content, they can follow you. But unless you follow them back, you won't see their content and you won't be able to build relationship with them. They can see your content, but you cannot see their content. So it's still mas maganda pa rin na connection. Pero
Per
followers unlimited.
sa content post, when you create, there is a limit to the characters, correct?
Yeah, dati 1,500 ngayon ginawang 3,000. Pero dapat gawing paling readable. That's why
Oo.
ano na
Mm.
eh. And yeah, so unlike before, ako nasanay ako ng ano eh 1,300 characters lang talaga eh. But ngayon dinamihan nila. But even if mahaba na like 3,000 characters, maganda pa rin ng 1,000 plus pa rin. So it's still readable for
Mm.
people. So depending on your network. If your network prefers videos, then you create videos for them. So you have to experiment at different types of content format and you will discover which of these content format, video ba, audio ba, all text ba, images ba, you will see which of these appeal to your audience and then do more of that.
So YouTube, then LinkedIn. Link the YouTube,
Mm-mm.
the video that you've made to LinkedIn. Is that correct?
No, no. Kailangan natively uploaded. Kapag links yan sa
Mm.
YouTube, no, mababa yung reach. Basta may external
Mm.
link ka, mahirapan kang makakuha ng reach. So you have to, I
Okay.
would recommend uploading it natively to LinkedIn.
Separately.
Okay.
Natively,
Matry nga
yes.
yan mamaya.
Native.
Okay. How about the use of hashtags? Di ba everybody saying hashtags? How do you use hashtags in LinkedIn?
Always remember, number one, up to three lang na hashtags. And then
Okay.
wag kang mag-random hashtags kasi yung iba kung ano lang naisip nila, like ano ba yung kung ano lang, 'di ba? Tapos yung hashtag nila. Hindi, you do a hashtag search first. So for example,
Okay.
HR or hashtag human resource, how many followers ba to? The more followers meron, the more that your post will be boosted on the feeds. So kung 3 million
Mm.
followers, for example, lang ng HR or hashtag human resources, mabuboost yung profile mo kasi maraming followers. But it's also recommended that you use niche hashtags. For example, ano ba
Mm.
yung niche sa human resources? Ano yung one example? Gamitin niyo yung hashtag na yun. Or, for example, if you're posting a content, no, like you're looking for a talent, use the hashtag that your target talent are actually using. So, for example, naghahanap ng work. Gamitin mo yung hashtag open to work. Yan. Kasi kiklik nila yung
Mm.
hashtag na yun, all of those who are looking for work and they will see your job posts.
Pero is there a
Napatingin ako sa
limitation?
hashtag
Strategic.
ko.
Kasi for example, like ang haba kasi ng HR in the Philippines eh. Parang haba kasi ng country name natin. Tama po ba
Okay.
'yon?
You can create your own hashtag, pero kung wala naman siyang followers, hindi siya mabuboost.
Correct.
So, mostly walang use yon unless may campaign ka. Unless may campaign ka, di ba yung campaign mo runs for 1 month. So, what you want is when people click on these hashtags, lahat ng content mo around that hashtag visible, na curate. Pero kung ang goal
Mm.
mo is to get found, huwag kang gagawa ng hashtag na ikaw lang nakakaalam. Gamitin mo yung pina-follow ng iba na hashtag.
Na-realize ko na tatlo sa hashtag na ginagamit ko ay ako lang ang
Ikaw
nagfa-follow. So
lang.
ngayon,
Oh.
yes, so mag-e-edit ako mamaya ng aking mga hashtag. But this is actually very eye-opening, Miss Virginia, kasi parang dati when I do posts in LinkedIn, kung ano lang yung makita kong hashtag or unang mag-appear
Diba?
ko sa mga suggestions, type ko kagad. So for example, I just posted something in LinkedIn right now and I realized that the hashtags that I used ay hindi pala siya magandang hashtag. Of the 5 hashtags that I had there, there's only one hashtag that's actually being followed by about 33 million people. The second
Mm.
hashtag was about 500 people lang. At yung
Mm.
tatlong natitira ay ako lang ang nakakaalam ng hashtag na yun.
Mm.
Ayun.
What's your advice with, kasi now you are a thought leader and a LinkedIn expert, and I'm sure you get a lot of people trying to like and follow you or messaging you. How do you manage all of that? Kasi I've seen you have 40,000 followers yata on LinkedIn. How do you curate that?
I'm trying to keep up pero hindi ko talaga siya masagot lahat. So, kasi the problem also is that yung inbox ng LinkedIn kapag marami kang
Oo.
messages, nado-drown yung iba. So meron ako laging nami-miss. Especially pag may events. 'Di ba pag may events, connect with me on LinkedIn. 'Di ba? Ganyan yung sasabihin ko.
Oo.
So lahat naman sila, maraming nagme-message and then natatabunan na yung iba. So what I do, I review my inbox every weekend. Tapos yung mga hindi
Mm.
ko na-replyan, as much as possible, nagre-reply ako. Even those people na you don't know when they reach out to you, sometimes yung mga stories lang eh. Thank you for sharing that story. It inspires me. It's very useful in building relationship. And for me, personally, to encourage them to do more LinkedIn, to post more on LinkedIn. Kasi if they know that there are people who actually reply and who actually engages with their content, mas na-motivate sila maging active on LinkedIn.
So before you reach your full limit, what was your parang policy regarding people who would add you? Kasi most of the people who would add you
Mm.
maybe might not be people you know personally. 'Di ba? Like
Mm.
what was your policy before? Like since nag-add yung somebody who is from HR, do you just add them even though you don't know them personally, or it's better to actually create that those that you add as connections are really your real connections? Kasi so many people would want to add you as a friend.
I don't mind adding people that I don't know. The same way that I don't mind connecting with people that I don't know. Kasi that could
Mm,
start the relationship. It's just
mm,
that you have to think, if I connect with this person, am I actually ready to build a relationship with this person? If not,
mm.
hindi ko na lang siya i-add sa network ko. Right now, hindi ko pa naman na-reach yung 30,000 connections. I'm getting followers pero hindi ako mapag-connect. So marami akong pending connection requests. Sometimes I reply to them if they could follow me, and then I follow them back. And it helps build relationship to just follow each other.
Mm.
Mm.
We have a comment from Sir Warren. Let's feature that. I'm not an active member in LinkedIn. I used it to find a job and to stalk people. But now I learn on how wonderful LinkedIn is. Thank you, Miss Virginia. I will start boosting my LinkedIn now. Alam mo naman ang
Yay!
Pinoy, napaka-romantic. Is there a way that you can find the one in LinkedIn?
Uy, meron akong
Meron
dalawang
ba?
connections. I just read, pero that's not the purpose. It just
Of course,
happened the same way na in professional setup, something can happen na hindi mo naman ini-expect, di ba? Pero it can happen because it's a relationship building tool. But it's more on professional relationship. But finding someone na ganyan, it's not impossible. Just like yesterday or the other day, meron akong connections eh. Connections ko sila pareho and I just learned sa post nila that they met each other in a conference from other country yung guy, and then I think they got married. So, it's
oh.
really a relationship building. Pero hindi yun yung goal natin.
Ned Inguilio is asking, how do you boost LinkedIn? What do you say? What do you mean when you say boosting your LinkedIn profile?
Yan. What is that? What is boosting LinkedIn? When you say boost, it depends on your definition. Eh. Pero to me, boosting, number one, being found, getting discovered. Yun nga, when you have your keywords, people search, on the search box, using your keywords, you will appear. Pwede ring boost your post. When you say boost your post naman, it means that your post will be visible to more people on their LinkedIn feeds. Yun naman yung boosting your post.
Mm.
Boosting your
Okay.
career naman using LinkedIn is getting career opportunities through your presence on LinkedIn. So it depends on how you use it.
Ayan. Pero ito personal story actually,
Mm.
si Patrick Earl Gonzalez. We actually met in LinkedIn. So we tapped him as one of our resource speaker last year for
Mm-hmm.
our free webinar sa Aprush. And we found him sa LinkedIn. So isa to do sa
Yeah.
mga kung guys kung kailangan niyo po ng ng testimonial na talagang nagwo-work po ang LinkedIn, this is one of it. We found him via LinkedIn. We were looking for someone who can handle a specific topic and he was one of the profiles that we came across. We tapped him and
O,
yun,
di ba?
napakaganda nung kanyang webinar last year. Siya yung nag-handle isa sa mga free webinars namin. So, kung kayo ay nagdadalawang isip pa if you should have your LinkedIn profile or if you should use it as part of your portfolio, naku, you should have a LinkedIn profile, especially if you want to network with like-minded individuals or you'd like to be
Mm-hmm,
found
mm-hmm,
by
mm-hmm.
employers. Ako din personally, there are a lot of headhunters who have reached out to me kasi they found me on LinkedIn. Pero mukhang kailangan kong ayusin kasi usually ibang trabaho yung nabibigay sa akin. So mali ang aking
Mali ang
ginagamit na
keyword mo.
keyword. Oo. Wrong keyword.
Fun
Ayan.
trivia. Parang I was mailed last year by parang Food Panda. I was looking for a parang manager for a specific position via LinkedIn. So it can happen, di ba? At that time, hindi
Mm-mm.
pa sikat si Food Panda. O, di ba? I could have been
Mm-hmm.
there because of
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn. Apparently, my profile fit what they needed, so they approached me. But at that time, my people needed me. So somebody else better came along. So talaga, if you are active in your profile, you do have the qualities a headhunter would require, they will actively approach you. It's
Yeah.
really for middle to upper management, and it's really amazing the type of jobs. Even if you're lurking yung job board nila, to see the type of jobs that they are offering. Totally out of this world. Very
Agree.
impactful in an organization. Ma'am Virginia, how would you advise people? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng tao magaling magsulat, masyado yung lalabas mag-present, right? How would you advise people who are more introverted, who is
Mm-hmm.
not, it's not in their personality talaga to be out there and show their real self? What would you advise them, especially when building up their LinkedIn profile?
In my experience, the reason they are not getting themselves out there, it's not because hindi nila kaya, but it's because they're not confident enough to do that. And
Mm,
really, to gain that self-confidence, we really have to get to know who we are. Yung
mm,
introspection is a crucial part. Don't just go to LinkedIn thinking about you're going to post. Hindi yun ang first step. Ang first step, get to know who you are. Once you're clear about who you are, your values, your skills, your strengths and weaknesses, all of these things, you will have the self-confidence to get yourself out there. Now, don't worry about content. Even if introverted ka, like me, I'm an introvert, but you just have to find what type of content you can do. If you're not a good writer, maybe you can speak. If you're not a
mm.
good speaker, maybe you can create images. Whatever works for you, do that. Huwag ka lang makisali sa iba. Ay, mukhang video yung hit ngayon, mag-video nga ako. Even if you know that that's not the best that you can use. Or magsusulat nga ako kasi everyone is writing, even if you're not a good writer. Kung saan ka magaling, use that. It's really about showing who you are and not creating a persona that's not you, because that is very difficult. And you want people to like you for who you are, not for who you are not.
So LinkedIn is mostly for professional use. Usually, would you recommend people to avoid controversial topics on their LinkedIn? 'Di ba?
What is the meaning of controversial?
Political thoughts, religious thoughts, these things. What is your advice to people na who have many opinions
Okay. Whatever
and
you're
also social
posting,
media?
it doesn't matter whether political, religious, what have you. Ask yourself one question: what is the purpose of this post? Will this
Mm,
post help me achieve my goal? Dapat may goal ka, hindi lang makapag-post okay na. If you're going to talk about something political and alam mo hindi matatapos ang usapan, what's the point? I mean, what
Tama.
you're not on LinkedIn to prove something. You're on
Tama.
LinkedIn to help others. So what is the purpose of this post? Will it spread positivity? Will it help you become more credible? Will it help you attract opportunities? If the answer is no, then go somewhere else. Use
Mm.
LinkedIn as a tool to attract opportunities for your career.
Mm. And kung natatakot po kayo, kasi syempre when you put things out there, and then you're afraid that somebody might criticize the way you write, the way you talk,
Mm-hmm.
lalo na sa video, 'di ba? Not
Mm-hmm.
everybody is a video editor. What would your words of advice be?
That's part of the game. When you start to get yourself out there, you already have this confidence and you already know that you cannot please everyone, and that's
Mm,
okay. You can't please everyone. If they don't like you, that's fine. But believe me, you will attract people who have the same message. You will attract like-minded people, and that's what's important. Never mind those people who don't believe in you, because what you want to attract are the people who believe in you, because they are the ones who can help you achieve your goals. So it doesn't matter if they're not your target market. That's okay. Just move forward. Wag mo lang mag-comment ka rin ng negative,
mm,
kasi it has to be positive. Meaning, what is the point of talking about something negative? Pag negative na siya, negative ka pa, that's not how LinkedIn works. LinkedIn is a
mm,
very positive community. This is where people help each other. This is where
mm,
people support each other. This is where people are happy about the success of other people. And they're also they get opportunities that make them become more successful. So, may naysayers,
and,
of course, but
mm,
don't post for them. Post for people who you can help. That's the mindset.
okay. We're almost at the end of our show. Ma'am Virginia, is there any last words that you would like to share? Plus, on how people can contact you and follow and add you to their network.
Siguro last thing that I want to share just very quickly is that the best way to start building your presence on LinkedIn, building your presence meaning build your profile and build your presence by sharing content, is while you are happily employed. Kasi hindi ka
Mm,
naghahanap ng trabaho. Kung hindi ka naghahanap ng trabaho, you don't need any help. This is the best way to build relationship with people, because they will not think that you're just, connecting with them or talking with them, reaching out to them because you need something. And I
mm.
assure you, once you need that help, pag nawala yung work mo or you need a project going, these people you've built relationship will help you achieve your goals. So, wag ka lang pupunta sa LinkedIn dahil wala kang trabaho. That's the worst time to go to LinkedIn. Kasi hindi naman, wala kang trabaho ngayon ka rin naghahanap ng trabaho. So, pagtingin nila sa profile mo, walang laman yung profile mo. So, how do you think they will hire you? So,
Mm.
build relationship, build your profile, build your network, and build your presence while you are happily employed. And you will see the ROI is amazing. Thank
Sa
you.
akin, my key takeaways talaga. Well, first, Miss Virginia Bautista is the person to invite if you have any future talks with regards to LinkedIn. Okay? We cannot guarantee she is always free, but we thank you for her time and being free today. Okay? The second one is if you do not have a LinkedIn profile, please register now, especially if you want to boost your career. It is
Mhm.
free, okay? Free. Walang bayad po ang pag-register sa LinkedIn. It's like registering on a Facebook page. It's so easy. And then you can slowly but surely build up your profile. As what Miss Virginia said, do it when you are happy and gainfully employed, because if you are negative, they will find a way, you will really find no followers. Nobody wants to follow a nega person. Okay. But make sure that you actually dress your LinkedIn profile differently from your Facebook profile. LinkedIn is for professional slash career use. Okay. You have to be very careful on how you curate yourself, on what you want to show to others. Kasi if you put it, it's not really pang joke, it's not pang kwela, it's really for other people to see what type of competencies you have as a professional. Okay?
Mhm.
It's really, and then you have to really build it now. Curate it very carefully, because that's how people will get to know you. Huwag kayong matakot. Kasi kung maayos ka naman na tao, there is no way for you to go but up, right? Wag maging wakaw. It is really a place where you have to give service to others, right? It's you want to be the parang nabasa ko, I think takeaway ko is you have to be either the go-to person for content, for helpful advice that you created everywhere else, for motivation, nakikinig talaga ako for motivation when
That's
people are down, to connect other people, yung marami kang kakilala and you want to help. Napansin mo, wala dito is all about, wala sa in-advise ni Ma'am Virginia is all about you finding a job yourself. Because when you help others, other people will approach you for a job, not the other way around. The best careers, the best jobs are those wherein people contact you. It's not you applying for the job. It's people who contact you, invite you to apply for the position, and then sila pa yung naghahabol sa'yo. And that's really, one way to do it is via LinkedIn. And for people to contact you, first show that you are competent and not crazy and very professional. 'Di ba? Kasi, and that's really why we have this session. Ma'am Rona, what are your takeaways?
Ayan, ako isa lang ang na-realize ko out of all of this discussion. Not only should you have your own LinkedIn profile, but you really need to be adept with the use of technology, especially in today's world. The internet offers a lot of platforms for you to establish yourself as an authority. LinkedIn is one of those platforms, and you need to know all of these platforms. As an HR, we can't be stagnant. We can't stagnate. We need to learn, relearn, unlearn new things over and over again, because this will help us later on in our career as an HR professional. Hindi dahil sa ay ang kailangan ko lang naman is to understand SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, okay na ako as an HR. Hindi ganoon 'yun. Things are changing, the business environment is changing, how people think are changing, our own talent pool are also changing, nagbabago na how business is being done. You need to be able to adapt to all of this. And on top of all of these changes, or changes in the technology, changes in how we do things, changes in how we use the internet, and all of this, what we used to think as high-end or high-tech stuff, tayo dapat ay on top of that. Okay? Dapat alam natin, paano ko ba ito gagamitin? How do I use this to become a better HR professional? We should not be afraid of all of these things. Otherwise, we'll just be left behind, di ba? And then, as HR professionals, pwede nating sabihin na, I don't need naman LinkedIn, I don't need to network kasi yun lang naman yung trabaho ko, administrative lang naman. No, you need to network. Your network will help you in the future. You have a question, tap your network. You need a service, tap your network. You need a new job, tap your network. Even if you don't need a new job, if you have a good network and they see you as someone who is an authority, these people, the people who are in need of people like you, they will be the ones to approach you. Okay?
Correct.
So wag mahiya, wag matatakot. Hindi kasi para sa akin yan. No. There's no one profile na ay pang ano yan lang talaga yung mga sumisikat. Hindi po, lahat po tayo ay po pwede tayo maging kilala, maging authority in our own right. So let's take advantage of that. Okay? Social media is a great equalizer. Let's take advantage of that. Okay? Yes. Yes! At isa na naman pong sesyon sa HR Cafe ang natapos po. Naku, maraming salamat po. Talaga namang hanggang ngayon ay nakatutok pa rin po kayo kahit na medyo nag-overtime po tayo. Maraming salamat po dahil napaka-productive na naman po ng ating usapan dito sa HR Cafe ngayong linggo. Maraming salamat po, Miss Virginia, for sharing your time with us and sharing your knowledge. Ang dami po namin natutunan on how we can take advantage more of LinkedIn, how we can better make use of LinkedIn. At sa mga nanood po right now, maraming salamat din po for staying with us. We hope to see you everyone next Sunday na naman po dahil isa na naman pong magandang balitaktakan na mangyayari sa atin sa susunod na linggo dito po sa HR Cafe, Usapang, Buhay, Trabaho at iba pa. Maraming salamat po. Enjoy the rest of the day and we hope to see you next week. Stay safe everyone and bye-bye po.
Thank you.
Take care everyone. Bye-bye.